expected you would have said that. Thank you. Looks nice. Welcome, everyone, to the regular scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustees. Today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Tonight, I have our school superintendent, Dr. Robinson. He'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all stand and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin our meeting, Dr. Robinson's given a short presentation. There's an upcoming millage for the school district, so turn the floor to you.
So thank you. I know that you're busy and you've got a full agenda, but I appreciate the opportunity to take a few minutes tonight. I'll give you a couple of lighter updates on the school district. Of course, we're rolling now. Day 2 is under our belt. Yes, buses are still running a little late, but we'll figure that out over the course of the next week. This year, if you've been around here long enough, you know I have this thing where I do an annual theme every year. So this year's a little lighter. We're making a play on the Transformer. So this year's theme is Transform, and we have a super cool bulldog graphic that looks kind of like a transformer. And at our opening day with staff, this crazy guy showed up in an Optimus Prime suit that if you're a Transformer watcher, you would know what that is. I was not until I caught up this summer and watched a few movies. And so we just want to have some fun with that, and you'll probably hear more about that throughout the year. The other thing that I want to share with you that I think will connect with most of you is at a recent board meeting, the board passed a resolution to approve officially naming our new middle school athletic facility Breinert Field. In recognition of Greg Breinert, who I know he's just the lifeblood. If you want to talk about being Romeo, you just talk to Greg Breinert. So that's been kind of in process really for more than a year now. And knowing Greg personally, not having directly worked with him, like I'm just so pleased. So on Friday, September 26th, which is actually the day of our homecoming game, at 4 p.m., we're going to have a ceremony. Clara doesn't know I'm going to ask her to speak, but she spent a little time with Greg. Yeah, so just a short, hour event. We'll have some food in that out at the field, and we'll unveil the new Breinert Field sign on the scoreboard, and we'll get some more information out on social media. So those are a couple of light things.
You're going to have Breinert and Barnabo.
What's
You're
that?
going to have Breinert and Barnabo?
Yes.
Both B's.
Yes. And someday, Sam, it'll be Praviti's light post or something. If you give me a parking block, Sam, I'll get you a light post. All right?
I just want smooth roads. I'll be happy.
There you go. So I am here tonight to kind of give an informational update on really something that the board and our leadership team has been working on for about 15 months now. And timing is everything. And last year in October, we made a decision to actually delay what was originally potentially going to be a May ballot proposal and push it forward in November. And I'm grateful that we've been able to do that because we've learned a lot and we've been able to engage the community stakeholders a little bit more in the process. So why a bond? Because it's fair that some of you have been around for the last decade would say, again, and that's a fair assessment. Sam told me that he actually heard that a couple times after we started talking about this. And I understand that. And so why a bond proposal? One of the things that we deal with in the state of Michigan, different than other states in the nation, is our state does not provide facility improvement funding in annual allocations or any intermittent allocations as a part of the school aid budget. So it really is the only realistic way for school districts to actually invest in large-scale facility updates. And the township board knows you get resolutions to pay for sidewalks, and like the average citizen just doesn't understand how much some of these major infrastructure construction efforts and that actually cost. So in order for us to do it, this really is the way in Michigan. And we've been grateful because since 2016, our community has supported funding our long-range facility plan that really came together When I got into the district in 2018 and could fully understand the bond and what was going to happen with the new high school and that, it was clear that we had other facility needs, arguably greater than, building a new high school that needed to be tended to. So we were able to put together this long-range plan that we predicted would be somewhere in between 4 and 6 phases. We didn't know when the funding would be available, but we said we would incrementally go back and forth in between updating our sinking fund millage and then the opportunity to do facility bond proposals. So once again, we're grateful for the support of the community because it's really allowed us to transform so many of our school facilities to improve the student experience. In spring of 2024, our financial advisors began to tell us, looking at the debt retirement levy, that an opportunity could potentially be there, and that's when we went to work. And of course, this was all under the guise of no increase to the rate that our taxpayers are currently paying. So this is the final phase, and that's why you'll see in our image that we're playing off this reaching the finish together, because this really is the finish line to that plan. And there's no way we could do this without our community and our voters. So together, we're hoping on November 4th, we can secure a successful ballot proposal and then begin to plan for this final phase that realistically will probably be construction efforts all the way into 2029. So you secure these things and then it takes a long time to see them play out. So it has been an exercise in patience. I'm super grateful that the fruits of our labor now are very evident. So when you're driving north on Van Dyke and you get by Culligan and you're trying to look to the left to see that fancy kaleidoscope thing that's on the old Croswell Elementary, that's in addition to our early childhood center. So take a turn down Croswell and go into the parking lot, and if someone's there, they'd be happy to give you a tour. Zero tax rate, what does that mean? The bond proposal does not increase the current debt retirement tax rate. It continues the tax rate that residents already pay. And the clarification on that is, as existing bond is paid off, this new bond, if successful, would replace that, and that's what it means to continue or extend that further into the future. I always get asked, well, what if it didn't pass? What would drop off? And it's incremental, and it's incremental over time. So we would have to get some projection tables, and based on the value of someone's home, they certainly would see a savings, but it's pushed out into the future because we're talking about long-term repayment similar to a mortgage on your home. RCS will continue with successful passage to have the third lowest debt retirement rate in Macomb County at 3.85 mils. I want you to think about the 21 school districts in our county and all the progress we've made in the last almost decade, and we're still the third lowest debt retirement rate. So I think we have enough credibility now to say we're good stewards of the finances that the community gives us, and we're investing it to make the student experience better. What is the lowest rate? There are 2 districts at 3.5. They remain unnamed, but if you drove through them tomorrow, you would say, whoa, those facilities don't look like our facilities in Romeo. So I'm grateful that we can maintain this low rate and be good stewards of the taxpayers' support. What's on the ballot? So it's a $62 million facilities bond proposal, 0 increase, and we've really designed this into 4 key areas: infrastructure improvements, safety and security, learning environment updates, and arts, athletics, and play area upgrades. Now, I would remind you, when you look at the details of this proposal, we're coming off 2016 and 2021, so we've done work in this area in some cases. Maybe not every facility or at every level, so sometimes this is completing a process to make sure that we have a fidelity across all of our facilities, age appropriate to the learners that attend there. How were projects identified? We used a collaborative process. First and foremost, a comprehensive facilities assessment was done back in December and January of 2025. We actually had a new assessor, which I think was good because we had someone who didn't have a ton of familiarity with our buildings that could look at them with a fresh set of eyes and kind of give us a new opinion, whereas the previous 2 assessments, we had the same assessor do those. So we lean heavily on the facilities assessment because things come to end of life and you want to take care of them before they get there. We leaned on community feedback that was gathered through a district-wide survey and stakeholder focus panels last March and April. And then we're always in consultation with our construction management company and our architects, the specialized engineering firms that do certain work, because they're going to be able to tell us, how is this work being done in other places, what's the best way to do it, and what's cost effective. So our projects reflect a combination of required updates. These are things that would be coming out of the facilities assessment, and then some desired upgrades, which might be new construction that our facilities assessment wouldn't tell us, hey, that's aging out, because it doesn't exist. This is something that we need to continue to improve the student experience, support teaching and learning, or extracurricular programming. I won't get into the details of these, but I would just tell you when we talk about that first area, most of this comes out of the facilities assessment. There are a few things in here that aesthetically, if we were to do these, you would see. So some of the exteriors of our building have old soffits, old entranceways, and they're just aged out and they need to be updated. And your curbside appeal is important when we're trying to attract new families and things like that to attend school in our district. We move into safety and security, and we've done so much work in this area, there's never enough. So we have some things that we want to do, primarily technology-based, surveillance cameras. Every 3 or 4 years, the technology gets better and better, and that's just going to help support the safety and security of our staff and students during the school day, and even with our facilities after hours. Our infrastructure, our Wi-Fi, there's technology pieces to all 4 key areas. We don't have a separate technology area because it touches all different parts of the bond proposal. Updating learning environments is a big part of it. Once again, we have some technology in here, and I think one of the things that's always fun about these is what's going to be new. And so we do actually have a couple facilities that are going to get a new addition. I'll talk a little bit about those at the end. And then we're continuing to, our kids learn in traditional classrooms and unique classrooms all day long, but what makes the school experience best is everything they get in wraparound. So when we talk about the fine arts and those experience, athletics, extracurricular activities, we want to make sure that those are updated. I will tell you, if you really want to win the appeal of taxpayers, watch parents come back and see the brand new playground at their elementary school. And that's happened at 3 of our elementaries after this summer. And that's exciting to see the taxpayers' investment and to be out there. I got to see some kids out on the playground at Amanda Moore today. And if you just listen to the excitement in the kids and in the enjoyment, I think it's worth every dollar. So I tell our kids all the time when we unveil some of these new spaces that they're spoiled, but they're worth it. And I just want them to have a sense of pride, and I want them to take care of these facilities. And most often that's talking to our high school students at an athletic facility or something like that. Take care of this as it's your own, because it really is. It belongs to you and the community, and we want to be good stewards of our investments. So there's some things that we have to do, some of which are going to be completing items in the 21 bond that we didn't have significant enough funding for. So facilities additions, this is exciting. Hevel Elementary houses some specialized special ed programs for our highest need learners, and we've consistently done that education in general ed classrooms. And so we desire to build a wing onto Hevel that's going to have specialized learning space for those students and their teachers, and also some of the itinerant staff that supports them. Washington Elementary is going to get a new cafeteria. Their cafeteria is smaller. It's a little old, but we think we can repurpose that to some new space and provide them a new cafeteria. And then our high school's not big enough. And that's a great thing, because a lot of people want to go to Romeo High School. And so we knew that to some degree when it was designed and built in 2016, that there would be a point in time where it might not be big enough. And we have teachers teaching each other's classrooms on their prep, and it's really become more of a community college model where this is your room, this might be where you hang your coat, but when you're not using it, someone else is. And so it's time for us to pursue adding a wing onto the high school, and we intend to do that with successful passage of this proposal. So the last thing I want to spend a little time on is this notion of deferred projects, because in planning for the bond, this was actually the first bucket of money that we had to attend to. So from when the 2021 bond was passed to the actual reality of building out from 2022 until today, there was escalation. Escalation really in every part. I think we had about an 18% escalation figured into the bond proposal, and it ended up being in some cases as much as 40%. So the board had to make a decision back in the spring of 2023 after a 4-month process to update our construction timeline and take a group of projects and set them aside and say if we have money to do them, then we would do them, but ultimately they would need to be done and whenever the next facilities bond situation was available. So our deferred projects make up about 15% of the funding within this bond proposal, but we're committed to do them, and we have to follow through on them because the voters approved us actually building them, so we want to see that through. So that's the deferred project. Ultimately, November 4th, is election day. What creates angst and me wanting to get voters informed is absentee ballots will start going out on September 25th. So it's not that far away. So we'll have a couple other community engagements in addition to, the other municipalities in that. You can't go wrong if you have questions or anyone in the township has questions by going to our website, romeok12.org. You'll see that Reaching the Finish Together icon on our homepage. That takes you right to our election information page. And as we put more information together, it all goes on that page. Call directly to or email me, and I'd be happy to explain or get answers for any of the questions that our voters might have. So I know that you guys have a lengthy agenda. I'd be happy to take a question, but I'm also respectful of the fact that you've got other business to get.
I have a question. Something I didn't see there, and I'll ask this, maybe it's covered somewhere, and that is additional training to teachers to identify students that may come up on the radar screen with mental health problems, other home problems, to train teachers in security measures, especially in light of what's happening now.
Yeah.
How do you figure that in?
Yeah, well, the Department of Treasury, who approves our bond application in the state of Michigan, says you can't use bond funds to do staff training. That doesn't mean that we're not investing in that, and that's actually a countywide effort through the ISD that we're investing a lot in that. And some comes through specific state grant funding, but we could not use, these funds cannot be used for salaries, benefits, staff training, instructional materials, though that's not part of, this is a facilities bond, so infrastructure.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, thanks for explaining this.
Thank you, thank you.
One other thing, just for Dr. Robertson, he said fruits of the labor, and if you're unfamiliar, Romeo High School actually had a visit from Governor Whitmer in February to tour the facilities, and she thought it was an outstanding programs that they had there, so thanks for all you do there.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, with that, I'll do roll call by our clerk. Brown?
Praviti,
Present.
Brown, present. Nicely.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Mylum, she's excused absence. Reinhold.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here. Okay, 6 out of 7 present. You see before you the agenda, if there's any deletions or additions, deletions, or modifications. If the board's okay with it, I know the clerk's not going to be happy with me. If we could move 10.13 between 10.2, 10.3, just because I don't want to keep them here all night if they don't want to be, the WBRW.
Oh, move to agenda.
We can still call it 10.13, I guess, but just move it up to the third item.
Move it to, okay.
We can call it the same number. It's just because we have a really long agenda tonight. I don't want to keep them here all night. But other than that, there's really no change, just I'm changing the order. That'll be my motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion passed. Next, you see the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of August 28, 2025, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of August 6, 2025, accept the Building Department monthly report of July 2025, accept the Robinson Capital monthly report of July 2025, and accept the Fire Department monthly report of July 2025.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Support.
Motion by Chaplin, supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next is moved agenda items. We have none. Next is comments from the audience on agenda items only. If anyone from the public would like to address the board on agenda items only, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. We will have time at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Going once, going twice. Okay, thank you. Next is legal counsel. Nothing? No unfinished business. We're on to new business, so we're moving fast. No, I'm joking. 10.1, appointment of Planning Commission member. So recently, longtime Planning Commission member Abby Jacobson put in her resignation on the Planning Commission, which caused an opening to finish her term. Sorry, let me get to that part. I went faster than I. With that, it caused an opening for the Planning Commission to fill the vacancy, which expires February 1, 2027. I am recommending the appointment of Mr. Gary Robb of Washington Township to fill the seat. If approved, his appointment would begin immediately and continue through the remainder of the current term, which expires February 1, 2027. Mr. Robb has been a resident of Washington Township since 1987, brings extensive community service and leadership experience, including retired sergeant with the Shelby Township Police Department after 26 years of service. He served as president of the North Macomb Sportsman Club 9 times and continues to serve on the board of directors. He's the past president of the FOP Lodge number 145, assisted with 4-H programs while raising his children, helped establish the Romeo High School Trap League, where he remains active. He's a supporter of the Washington Lions Club and a member of the Orchard Ridge Church, serving on its security team. He has deep local roots as a member of the Allward family, with his uncle Jerry Allward having served as a longtime Washington Township fire chief. Importantly, we did have several applicants, which I'm very impressed by all their backgrounds. I will keep all their applications on file. Hopefully in the next year we'll have some openings and I'll reach out to all of them. But most importantly, Gary Robb stood out. Abby Jacobson filled up an important part of our PC. Each person on the Planning Commission has a specific role with different backgrounds, so we're not with 7 realtors or 7 bankers or 7 engineers, just as examples. Each member of our Planning Commission kind of has a different background, different strengths and weaknesses. Gary Robb will fulfill the agricultural and historical aspect of our Planning Commission that Abby represented for so many years. It is crucial that this representation continues to have a voice in our Planning Commission, as well as a first responder with the police background. He will be filling from 2 important areas to be represented on our Planning Commission. Beyond his professional and civic experience, Gary is a longtime advocate of community programs, the outdoors, the youth activities, reflecting a strong commitment to the values and future of Washington Township. I have Gary Robb here if anybody would like to, if anyone doesn't know him. I think a lot of people know him. You have any questions? No. Oh, no. And if any of you want to see, he's got a beautiful horse farm on 30 Mile. You can see any of his horses there.
I make a motion based on his qualifications, dedication, and deep community ties that we recommend that the board approve the appointment of Gary Robb to the Planning Commission for the remainder of this term, expiring February 1st, 2027.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Brown, seconded by Nicely. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Brown, yes. Nicely.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Gary. Welcome to the team. Next, we have the appointment of Parks and Recreation member Back in April, we reappointed 3 members to represent the Washington Township portion of the RWB Parks and Rec. One of the members, Amanda Bowers, who she has a 1-year term, which I believe started in May. I don't have the exact date. But she recently resigned due to personal reasoning, would like to come on in the future again. I don't know if Claire wants to take the podium, but recently the Parks and Rec voted to approve. I don't know if you want to say it, John, or do you want to? Yeah, John. You want me to? Yeah, I don't know if you want. The board approved. They did have, I think, 4 applicants. They voted for John Kieran's. I don't know if I mispronounced.
Yeah, we had
Sorry.
4 applicants. 2 came to our last commission meeting and interviewed or answered questions for us. Tom Matthews and John Karras. The commission ended up choosing John Karras with the hopes that Tom Matthews, which I've talked to him, would take on as a committee chairman for the isolated seniors and anyone of any age. And he has agreed to do that, so we are getting together to get that going. But Amanda actually started in February of 2024. And was,
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, she did serve originally.
right, and then, and so then 25, all 3 of them were ratified by,
Yeah, so the 3 members that we have, it was April, the meeting was in April. I think the term
Yeah.
starts in May, but we gave one person, Kim Duda, a 3-year term, a 2-year term to Michelle Demsky, and a 1-year term to Amanda. So every April, we will be replacing or reappointing someone with a 3-year term. So this term actually just fulfills Amanda's term. So
Right, through
he'll have to be reappointed if he wants to
Yeah,
reapply again
right.
next year. But so I guess this is a motion from the RWB Parks and Rec to appoint John to fulfill the term of Amanda Bowers. So I'll make the motion to approve John. Cares. No, I know, I'm just saying, sorry. No, yeah, he was out of town.
Support that.
Motion by Praviti, supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Or otherwise, roll call?
Praviti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Okay.
Clark,
motion
I got a
passed.
quick question. In here, he's got his last name with a K and a C. Is it with a K or a C?
Yeah, that's why I was mispronounced.
With a K? Okay, thank you.
With that happening, Dennis serves as our alternate, or maybe that's what he's going to say. Dennis would like to give up his seat for Tom to serve as the alternate to fulfill Dennis's term. I'll let you make that motion if you want.
I know Tom is here all the time, and he's very active with the seniors, and they're both good candidates, and I'd like to see both of them on the board. So I would like to make the motion to have Tom Mathis replace me as the alternate on the Parks and Rec.
Support? Absolutely.
So we have a motion by Stevenson, supported by Chaplin, for Tom Matthews to fill the remaining term of Dennis Stevenson as alternate of the Parks and Rec. Yeah. That's a 3-year, 2.5, whatever's left. If no questions, roll call.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. So welcome to the team, too, I guess.
Congratulations, Tom. You just picked up 2 new jobs.
We didn't give you the second one until you approved the first one. So we're going to move 10.13 up. I had a couple trustees asked to put this on the agenda tonight for our WBRW discussion on our Michigan Community Media contract. Tonight, I don't know if I'll have Phyllis represent. So we'll have Phyllis Zimmerman. She's the president of Michigan Community Media. And there's several board members here she'd like to introduce. And they have a short presentation to show the board. So I'll let you talk.
Good evening, everybody. For those who don't know me, which is very few that are here, my name is Phyllis Zimmerman. I'm the president and secretary of the board of directors of Michigan Community Media. the nonprofit administrative body for WBRW-TV. I have served on that board since 2019. I would like to introduce the other board members who are here with me tonight. And we will start with Janelle Long. She is our vice president and was elected in 2021. Mr. Dante Leo, who is our treasurer and was elected to the board in 2018. I thought Mr. Koutsos was going to be here, but I guess he couldn't make it. Mr. Koutsos was one of the original board members elected in 2010. And our newest board member, Ms. Paula Tutman, was appointed to the board in February of this year and will be giving our presentation tonight. On behalf of the board, and, oh, sorry, I got to introduce my staff. Forgot about that. Okay. All right. Who's ever seated, stand up when I call your name. Matthew December is our managing director and served on our board in the early years, but was elected or employed with us as of 2019. And Mr. Paul D'Angelo, who is our operations director, and he has been with us since 2010. And Mr. Eric Marburger, who is our senior media specialist, has been employed with us since 2016 and was an intern before that. And Mr. Nico Traki, our newest member, who began working for us in 2019 and was also an intern prior to that. On behalf of the board and the staff of Michigan Community Media, I thank you for this opportunity to present our vision for the future of WBRW. And now it's time for Paula to talk.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I have a really loud voice, and so I'm going to try not to blow you out of here. I was a cheerleader in high school and college, and I never raised my voice. So that's how loud my voice is.
So was our attorney.
So was your attorney. Somehow I got that. Somehow I got that. He seems
You were
like,
the one that held the cheerleaders
he seems like
out.
the guy who lifted the short girl. That's what I got out of that. Anyway. Go ahead. So great to meet you all, directors. So great to meet you neighbors as well. I've actually been a neighbor of yours since, I want to say it was about 2014. But I want to take you back also because in 2013, when I was a working journalist at WDIV-TV as a reporter, I was actually sent to cover a 4th of July parade. And I think it went past the high school. And I'd never been to this community before. And I remember pulling up and parking in the old BP parking lot. And I remember thinking to myself, who in the Sam, not Praviti, but who in the Sam heck would live all the way out here? Who? And exactly, almost to the day, a year later, my husband and I were the Sam heck. We had 3 daughters and a very large 185-pound bull mastiff. And we needed space. And we weren't specific to what community we wanted to live in. We stumbled over this great house in Washington Township. And of course, we would tell our friends, well, we've moved to Washington Township.
They're like, where's
Where the
that?
Sam heck is that? And I would say, well, it's near Romeo. And they would say, well, where the heck is Romeo? What I really realized is beyond a certain border, a lot of people really don't know who we are or where we are. And I will tell you this, in living in this community, and I do know that you feel the same way, it irks me greatly that we actually have entities inside our borders, and they describe themselves as Romeo, because nobody knows where the heck Romeo is either. And so that's a branding thing. It's not really embracing, in a lot of ways, who we are and what we're able to do, what we're able to get done, how we're able to push past our borders, to actually reach beyond our borders, to bring people in, and you'll hear me talk about this quite a bit in my fairly short presentation. We want people to come, pay, play, and possibly stay. earlier this year when I was asked to join the board of WBRW. And remember, I've been a journalist in this area for more than 32 years, which I know is impossible because I can't possibly be more than 39. But I was asked to join this board, and I thought, we have a television station? How is that possible? How did I not know this? And I'm in the media. But when I went to that station and I met their leadership, and I saw our resources and our assets, the things that we have, the things that we're actually able to do to make sure we have eyes on us so people know who the heck we are beyond our borders, I was excited. I was really excited to join this organization. And what we've been doing is we've been working on this entire vision, this whole idea of this amazing place to come, play, pay, and possibly stay. Home to, I counted, could be more, 126 rounds of golf within a 5-mile radius. That's pretty impressive. The orchards, our entry point onto the Orchard Trail, that biking path, and creating that community, and the things that we're able to do with that. And so, with the leadership of this amazing board, what we've been doing is we've been really building this whole idea of changing the game in Washington Township. And this television station is really an opportunity to do that. We're talking about proposing a new business model that not only informs our citizens, but creates and attracts content that makes us more independently sustainable. But it also invites other eyes onto our community with this incredible platform by not only creating local content, but curating entertaining content. And Tom, you actually asked Phyllis this question today. You were talking about, can we get movies? Are there other assets that we're able to bring in so we can entertain people? We have that ability to do that when we have this vision forward plan we've been working on for the last several months. We're talking about the township promotion beyond meetings and local sports. Meetings are important. Access to meetings and local sports, they're important. But those aren't the things that are going to bring eyes on us from outside our borders. And so we have the ability to do that with our various platforms. And so there's really a lot that we're able to do. Very, very important is remaining independent. Access to information. Independent community media provides a reliable source of local news and information, ensuring that residents have access to the information they need to participate in their community. So we're talking about the way to do this is to remain autonomous and independent and not a government entity. Creativity, because we need to be free from the influence and agendas of, no offense, folks, but elected leadership. Independent community TV is free to pursue avenues that can fully promote the community outside its borders by inviting the content and creativity of people beyond Washington Township. So we're not just talking about the people inside our borders, but people outside our borders to help tell the story of us. There's some other things too, engagement. Community engagement allows residents to share their ideas and engage with local issues. Community television can foster that sense of community and encourage participation in local politics as well as activism with a sense of pride. And so what I do when I walk around my board members is I always talk about Washington Township. It's not a gang sign. It really is a point of pride. It really is. Freedom. Independent community media is free from the pressure of commercial or government interests. That's really, really critical, which can sometimes negatively influence our content. So we want to remain autonomous. We have to be independent so we can bring people in. We want them to have access to you to have access to us, and them to have access to this amazing gem and these resources to, again, help tell the story of us, to invite people outside our borders to come, play, pay, and possibly stay. So when community TV becomes government TV, the thoughts and feelings towards leadership, elected officials, and a general sense of community trust can be eroded. We don't want that to happen. Remember, I come from broadcast. I'm all about television and how important local television and community television is. But we also have these optics. We've got to pay attention to these optics. Transparency and accountability. Independent community television can help hold local officials accountable by providing a platform for residents to share their perspectives and raise concerns, thereby strengthening that actually strengthens the perception of leadership. And that's important. It's important to be questioned and challenged and to make sure that your position is heard and that it's clear and that the audience and our neighbors have the ability to do that. So we're talking about independence, making sure that this station remains independent so that we can actually perform our vision forward plan. That's a very, very important piece. This is what we're going to be able to offer in doing that exciting and dynamic community content. Again, we've got content coming in, but there's so many stories inside our borders that can be told and can be told by our neighbors and ourselves. And I see you shaking your head, and I love it. I know you get this, I can tell. Access to meetings and local sports, that's important stuff, guys. That's absolutely important. It's a staple, but it shouldn't be the staple. That's not what's going to bring people to the tent. That's going to bring some of our neighbors and their grandparents, but it's not going to reach outside our borders so that we can invite others to enjoy and experience us. Curated external content, a place for businesses to be seen and heard, and of course, the educational opportunities for our students. I have a great relationship with Dr. Robinson, so I'm excited to work with him as well. Of course, we create this vital link. So we talk about this vital link. What is that? Well, by 2026, 2027, we'll actually have the capability, the expanded ability to bring in the tri-county areas. If they're willing, if they're interested, can we bring them in to partner with us so that we can actually regionalize this area? So it's not just about us, and nobody knows where the Sam heck is that, but this entire area. So we can figure out whether or not they're even interested, but we actually will have that capability, that expanded ability to do that. It's more reasons for people to experience our great area, to come, play, pay, and of course, possibly stay. And maybe not even stumble over it like my husband and I did. And so that's really, really a very important piece of this. Excuse me. So we want to talk about possibility of rebranding. So we've been talking about this just a little bit. WBRW, W Bruce, Romeo, Washington, or TTV6. We like the idea of rebranding. We think it's really, really important to have that identity so that when people walk around, they talk about, yeah, no, I'm from the W. This is all about the W. So within the context of rebranding and rebuilding, we know that there's this opportunity. We could possibly contract services outside. We can bring people in to pay for some of these services. Again, making us more sustainable, but also more accessible, bringing in that other content. That rebranding campaign embodies a new spirit and a vigor that I feel joining this board. We're excited when we get together and we work together and we talk about this vision forward and what we're able to do for this community. It's not just this thing sitting in a corner. There really is a way to make sure that this is working for everybody, leadership as well as our neighbors. And so we want this to be your source for information, entertainment, and affordable production. That's important, affordable production in Washington Township. We can be a place for people to come, get their content made, get it done well, get paid for it, but also have other people tell the story of us. So that's really, really exciting. So the ROI, what are we talking about here? Well, I like to say we make us look good. New exciting content to reach beyond our borders, constant theme, reaching beyond our borders. Not just something inside our borders, but actually reaching out and bringing people in. Specialized programming and products to inform our citizens. Easier access for residents to share their thoughts and ideas, fostering that sense of community and encouraging civic participation, getting people excited about living in this community. Not just living here and liking it and enjoying it, but being excited about it. We can help with that. We've got the assets. We've got the resources to do that. And creating, again, that greater regional reach to invite our neighbors to come, play, and pay for our wonderful resources, and perhaps some of them will actually stay. So I really, really like that, the idea of creating a place for new neighbors. Here's what we need to do that. We need a contract extension, because this is heavy lifting. So this is more than just a notion. We know that there's some talk about what we're going to do with this resource. This is a valuable resource. But in order to really even talk about this and flesh this out, we need minimally a one-year contract extension because we have to have the ability to plan this thing out. We're talking about playing chess, not checkers. And that's a whole different ballgame. That takes a lot of work. vetting the interests of our neighboring communities as potential partners, potential regional partners, or will they contract us for our services? It's going to take time for us to figure that out. And so what we want to do is have the ability to put that nuts and bolts plan together. But here's the biggest thing, and that's talent retention. We have an incredibly talented team at WBRW. And I got to tell you something. Matt, our managing director, just in the short amount of time he and I have been working together, and listen, I'm sure our spouses are going, what's going on there? Because we meet on weekends. And then Phyllis's spouse is going, what's going on? Why are those three always meeting? But here's the thing. We've got to retain our talent. We've got to retain Matt. We've got to retain Paul. They're talented. They know where the bodies are buried. They know how to dig them up. It's just that simple. And here's the other thing. I actually did some basic calculations. If somebody else tempts them away, it would actually take us minimally 50% of their salary to replace and train, to get somebody up to speed to run that television station. And then, of course, we have Nico and Eric. And so what we want to do is we need to make sure that they know that they have jobs, that they are secure, that they have a place to go, and that they, and believe me, they are all part of this vision. They are excited about this vision. And so we want to make sure that we want to entice them to not even look anyplace else, because it would be incredibly expensive. And it really wouldn't be worth our while to try to really replace them. So that's very, very important. So we've talked about our ROIs. We've talked about bringing in other people. If we do, again, and I'm going to ask you to extend that contract minimally for a year, but we also may want to think about that rebranding, because we know that we want to be WTTV. But we also have to take a look at whether or not, by becoming WTTV, whether or not those call letters alone would be something that would make others go, oh, well, you know what, I don't really know. So that's something, again, we're talking about playing chess, not checkers, and that takes time. That takes a lot of work to do. So I want to thank you all for this opportunity. I'm pleased to be one of your neighbors. I'm so excited that this board took me on, and I warned them, hey, if you bring me on, you get my opinions too. They've been very, very kind about hearing my opinions as well. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to entertain questions. I will say this, while I am presenting, I'm a new board member, so I'm going to bring on my best people to answer your questions if you have any. So Phyllis and Matt, are there any questions? Yes, comment. Tom.
I did a little research, the 27 communities in Macomb.
Hold on, let's get that mic because I know that people are listening.
So of the 27 communities in Macomb County, less than a half a dozen have a cable channel. I think Mount Clemens, Sterling Heights, Shelby are ours, and I can't remember the others.
Macomb Township.
Yeah. So now hold that thought. Now, Clara mentioned a committee to work on social isolation, and believe me, it goes beyond our seniors. It's deeply present in Gen Z and millennials. My idea was to use the station to create awareness, bring people to senior centers, the libraries, the churches, and the schools for togetherness. I came from a day, I'm almost 79, when you had no computers. You went with your friends, you played all day, you got along, you had a dispute, you had a fist fight, you shook hands, and that was the end of it. And now we're losing touch with each other, and it creates social and mental problems. I think we can communicate, use the station in a positive way to mitigate some of the effects of that.
So I see that you got 2 new jobs today, so watch out before you get 3. But he's right. It's talking about building the tent. If you build it, they will come. How do we build the tent? How do we soften that ground so that we can excite others to come in, not only create content, but have us on our platforms, improved website, improved television services, so that people are coming to us because we have exciting, searchable content that brings them to us and makes them think, I think I want to go out there and see that. I think I want to be there. I think I want to be a part of that. So Tom, thank you for that. Questions?
Just a comment from me. I can see why they put you on the board. I mean, passion, vision, enthusiasm, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Right, really, really impressed.
And great to meet you. I didn't meet you before. I'm Paula. I'm one of your constituents. Great to meet you. Thank you.
His name is Sam Hag.
Well, listen, if that's all we're going to get is compliments, we can stay all night. No, really though. But if you have some other questions, because this is truly critical. Yes,
Well,
clerk.
we absolutely love WBRW and the whole staff, and we've all done programming with them. They're top-notch, seasoned, talented people. They're just fantastic. And the only issue I shouldn't say issue, the only little, well, okay, it's an issue that we have is that so many people are going away from cable. That's the problem, and they're going to streaming.
Yeah.
So that's it, and that's a hard thing to do. I know you stream on YouTube, and that's great, but what are you going to do with, over time, people not having cable anymore?
I love that. I can actually.
That's the only caveat to it. Otherwise, they're absolutely fantastic.
There is no caveat to that because people are going to web content. So it doesn't
Correct.
matter if it's YouTube or not. And because we
Correct.
do have a website, then we're going to be able to stream. And if we have exciting, searchable, so people are looking
Okay.
for content.
Okay.
And if we can bring eyes to that website, then that is part of our platform. So
Okay.
that's my answer for that.
Okay.
But
Good answer.
Matt, take it away.
Thank you.
Okay, if you're, and as you're concerned specifically about franchise fees, is that what you're?
You know, the PEG fees and the franchise
Yeah,
fees,
so-
over time, they're going down.
They are going down.
People have
Oh, yeah,
cable.
but I think there's some legislation or something that's going to make them pay fees on the streaming.
Correct, if
So
they do.
that may change things.
That may change.
That is in the works, yeah. There
Right.
are states on the East Coast that have
Yes.
had luck changing their model on how they collect franchise fees and
Correct.
for the use of the right-of-way, whether that's on high-speed data or just charging per foot of the lines run or whatever. There's some models in the works. So there is a chance that the state of Michigan could, or the FCC could redo that whole model. So, but part of what we're talking about is finding other ways of bringing in outside revenue, even if those fees continue to decline. So last year, the township collected approximately 2.8% less franchise fees than they did the year before. So less than a 3% decline. That's certainly not great. We're not happy about it, but it's something we're going to have to deal with. So again, outside revenue, and then hope that working with, that municipalities like Washington can get together and go to the state and say, hey, look, we're about to lose $500,000. They're still going to use your right of way, whether they pay you for it or not. So there's a lot of communities that stand to lose a lot of money if the service providers don't pay what they're supposed to. So I think there's an opportunity for that to work out well for us, I guess.
Thank you.
Man, is it okay if I mention a couple of things too, real quick? Just for the public's notification, WBRW operates using cable franchise fees. No tax dollars are used to fund what Ms. Tutman and everybody else on the board is talking about. These all come from the user fee using the cable. So if we have a population of 10,000 people and 2,000 residents use the cable, all 10,000 people get a chance to see what's on the cable station. The township, as the treasurer, does not collect any taxes to fund WBRW. The assets, as Paula had mentioned, are exceedingly extreme performance assets. They've been fully paid for. We carry no long-term leases, running debt-free. The broadcaster, which we purchased in September of 2024, has an estimated lifetime span of 10 years, cost of $40,000. No taxpayer money was used. There's a 5-year warranty that has already been prepaid and valid through 2028. We have 4 new state-of-the-art cameras, purchased 2 in 21 and 2 in 22, cost of $20,000. Again, no taxpayer money was used. We have 5 new computers that were purchased between 21 and 22 at a cost of $25,000. Those are through the ARPA funds. The current contract that they're talking about now was for 3 years with a 2-year options to renew for a total of 5 years. And it allowed for adjustments to be made as needed. The total spending on just the high-value assets is $85,000. Again, taxes payable by no taxes payable by the residents. And this is not including the accessories. The broadcaster has already been paid up with a 5-year warranty, a 10-year lifespan, and the cameras and computers have a 10-year lifespan. With the vision that WBRW had just mentioned, I don't see any reason why we need to settle for a 1-year contract. The full extent of their success cannot be established and measured in 1 year time. In addition, there are several pictures on the WBRW website, all provided for free, that date back to 2018. I looked, there were 1,911,563 views on those views from WBRW from September 3rd, 2024 through September 23 of 2025, and that does not go back to the previous years. These pictures are a source of resources for other publications. You may see them in the Romeo schools and nationally with St. Baldrick's. So other people are looking at the website and talking about WBRW and the Washington Township. WBRW provides extra exposure that would not otherwise be available. I am not recommending a one-year contract, but I'd like to put a motion on the floor to do a 4-year contract. And the reason being is the equipment does not expire for another 4 years. Why do we want to stop what they already have trying to get going and let it all coincide at the same time? So that would be my motion on the floor.
We're going to need a second, y'all.
Support.
Okay, well, I have a motion by Nicely, supported by Stevenson, but I don't know if you want to write it, but I don't, did you have anything to say?
Oh, do I have anything to say?
Well, no, I mean, any questions on the motion, I guess, I mean, anyone,
Before we
no, I mean, you
before we
didn't have a
get into
chance.
this, I know there's a motion that's been, I would
wanna
just
speak
like to thank WBRW and their board and all their staff for coming here tonight. We've got a committee in the township that has been discussing changes that need to be made with WBRW. And what I wanted to hear was your vision for the future at WBRW. We know what we think. We wanted to hear what you guys think. So I want to thank you for bringing that. I've been an advocate of WBRW. I love the services that you provide in the community, and I would like to see it continue. I don't, I see this as a value add to Washington Township, and I always have. I got involved in some of this stuff a long time ago, and I've known these guys for a lot of years now. And the good news is that I know that, Matt, that your hair care products do not come out of the budget. So, and I want to know what they are, number one. But I agree with, and I would second the comments of most of the board members here. It's a value add. It's a great, asset to the township. There are some changes that need to be made. I think we both have visions that we can, and I look forward to integrating those. So what I would say in discussion is that would be my pushback on a 4-year contract. I would like to see us maybe shorten that so that when we make these changes, we can immediately jump into a new contractual structure without having to break the old one or go through a lot of headache. Other than that, whatever the board decides it wants to do is good by me.
John, Trustee John, you got a good point, but however, this has been in effect for 5 years, and we've had no issues with it all with the adjustments or changes that the board wants to make, especially when the TriCaster went out. I forgot when that was, but that was several years ago, I believe it was. Old technology, we had to replace it almost immediately.
Yep.
We needed issues to get done. When I first started here, you did not see WBRW on the sidelines of football games, baseball games, basketball games. They adjusted to based upon what the public wants and able to accommodate what the township is requiring for their needs. And we also make sure that we got these employees. We want to retain the talent. They need some security to know that, yes, we're good for 4 years. So that's.
I agree with all of those sentiments.
Okay.
The one thing that I did want to ask, and Mr. Supervisor, I'll ask you, and maybe to our township attorney through you, is just what is our ability to modify that contract midstream? I'm not that familiar with the codicils in it, so.
Looks like he's going to answer.
Yeah.
I think it's the annual.
Well, I was going to ask that question anyway, because if the motion carries, you need to know what it is you're renewing and what the terms of that are.
We don't.
The original agreement that was executed was back in 2020. That was the original agreement. And then in 2022, there was an extension of the original agreement. It was a First Amendment to it. I drafted it and presented it to the board for consideration in April of 2022. The board approved it, and that agreement would have extended through December 31st of this year. You are free to negotiate any terms that you want in that agreement. And so while I understand Mike's motion to extend it 4 years, you need to be specific. Are you simply taking the First Amendment and extending that document by 4 years? I mean, will compensation remain the same over the entire 4-year period?
Well, that's my concern, which I know, Matt, we pay them a set amount on there. I believe it's $270 a year, but I wanted it tied to the franchise fees. If they should go down, they go down a little. If they go up, they can get a little bit, but 270 is the base amount.
So currently, the contract is, the amount you pay us, the base is 270, but the amount will change depending on the franchise fees collected related to the previous year. So since the amount you collected this year is, again, about 2.8% less, you're paying us about 2.8% less than you did last year. So I think you're paying, we get paid quarterly, and so we see those decreased payments each quarter. So yeah, the contract, that version of the contract does have that language in there.
I would comment that, and I appreciate Treasurer Nicely's comments, and I agree with it. But in the agenda item, it was just going to be a discussion to put them on a future meeting. There wasn't, we have no documentation that all this was going to take place, if we're going to have a vote today. I think that we should know exactly what we're voting on, what the language is going to be, all of these items we're talking about. And perhaps Attorney Siebert could draft something, and with your cooperation, and then we could vote on it at the next meeting, because that still would give us time. We're trying to work in your time. We don't want you, struggling at the end. I think that we should have a more complete contract that we're voting on with language, because I don't really know what I'm voting on right now.
Charles, you look pensive.
Well, if legislation or whatever does change with the state and we start collecting fees from the streaming, how does that affect things?
That's going to have to be a negotiated item.
Well, I know we still collect it,
Yeah.
but does that mean we increase what we pay them? How does that work?
I believe that the language is,
but we don't give it to them. I'm joking.
I think the language is, if you collect more than you did the previous year,
then you would give them.
then what you pay us goes up that percentage, I believe is what the language is.
Okay, so it works both ways.
It's supposed to work
Okay.
both ways, yeah.
Can I
Well, it sounds like what we're looking to do is extend the existing contract by 4 years. So we kind of do know what we're voting on.
Well, I could, let me offer this as the compromise then. You guys were asking for a 1-year extension of the current contract.
Well, we like the 4 better.
I would like to give you 4 too, but we do have some things we have to hammer out. Perhaps we look at doing a 1-year extension of the current contract, and since, again, we are in discussions about changing the structure, that gives us the next 12 months to figure out how all of these financial pieces are going to fall out. We could even come back short-term next month or next meeting with with another bite at the contract and say, okay, we figured out the financial piece, now let's vote on an extension past that 1 year. We've got that option. But what it gives these guys is some certainty that they know where they're going to be working for the next year. I mean, there's a deadline coming up, and these people have families. Nobody likes to be wondering if they're going to have a job in 6 months. So I would like to see us take that off the table for them. And then, if we want to renegotiate a little bit of the contract or rework some of the wording of the contract on the financial side, we could do that. What do you think, Sam?
I mean, Bob, could this be changed or not, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess explain it to the board.
This agreement terminates December 31, 2025, done. You are now suggesting that the parties extend the existing agreement beyond December 31, 25. Everything is on the table. If you choose to take the existing agreement and extend it for a year or more or 4, that's fine. But ask yourself, will all of the terms and conditions of the existing agreement remain in full force and effect, unaltered, for that 4-year period? I don't have the signed agreement on my computer. I've got the one that I drafted and gave you. There were some fill-in-the-blanks, so that I don't have that one. But if all the board members know exactly what the existing amendment says, and I get the impression you may not, it would make sense that you see that document and see whether or not you want to lock it in for 4 with no ability to amend it, or whether or not you want to take a look at it.
I know the existing amendment was to get other communities.
No, that wasn't it
That was
at all.
that was the reason I know we extended at that time.
Well, you extended it, but there were some other provisions.
No, I'm just saying.
There were scope of services that were changed. I mean, if you're looking for a recommendation, it would.
No, I'm just asking.
It would make sense to have a clean copy of your current agreement. You circulate it for your next board meeting. Take a look at it between now and then. And if you're good with all of the terms and conditions except the term, then the answer is easy. However many, count to 4 that you can get for an extension, that's great. But there may be, when you look at it, you may say, you know, for 4 years, we may need an escape clause if something happens. I don't know what that something is, but, you know, the world changes.
Yeah, it changes, and we know that the franchise fees are up and down. However, it is not relied on, excuse me, taxpayer dollars, and I think this board is well aware, the WBRW board is aware that if you run out of money, then they're out of a job. So it's their responsibility to do a fiscally responsible budget. They have been doing so on these franchise fees that have gone up, and then they've been going down. And look at all the purchases that we made. They've been doing a very good job at it.
Sam, are you aware of any issues that we have with the current contract?
No, we haven't had any issue. We did start a cable commission this year to kind of look into different options. If anyone's followed my political career here in Washington, I've been a big proponent of the tri-community, more so with Parks and Rec. I mean, I think I've campaigned more for Parks and Rec to keep it together than my own campaign. And we finally got that kind of working smooth. I've never understood why we got 3 cameras at the library, 3 cameras at the Parks and Rec, 3 cameras. I mean, the TV was one of the things we should be together. Recently, when I started as supervisor, we began doing a newsletter in our tax bills. We're spending a lot of money. We're spending close to $10 grand a year to mail these newsletters to all the taxpayers during our tax bill. Then about a few months ago, I met with Clara. Clara mails out the Parks and Rec magazine. The library mails out their updates. We mail out ours. Bruce Township mails out theirs. Romeo mails out theirs. DDA of Romeo mails out theirs. So I said, why can't we just all piggyback on the Parks and Rec magazine and make it one source of all the communities? She mails it to all 3 communities. Right now, we're looking at the same 4-page format would cost us roughly, we should be bringing it to the board in the next few weeks or the next month, meeting or 2, a contract for all 3 communities. But for that same newsletter to be put in her magazine, we would spend anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,000 a year at the most, compared to $10,000 a year. But that's the biggest complaint I get from residents is there's no magazine, no newspaper, no disrespect to the current local newspaper, but there's no information at hand, and some people still can't access on the internet or just don't want to use the internet. And as much as certain people love Facebook, including myself, Facebook's not always accurate either. So they want a guide that they can go to. So that's what we're working on, to hopefully in December or January, we're going to do our first publication of all 3 communities together. It'll be your one-stop shop to have everything together. We're all going to be in one magazine. It'll save all 3 communities a lot of money. Parks and Rec actually makes money on the magazine because you sell ads on it. Anyway, from that, it started sparking, again, conversation on why did we split up. The other 2 local leaders are actually looking at going back to their boards to see if maybe there is a possibility to reconnect all 3 back together. Not to get into their business. One has a contract and one has no contract. This all just happened in the last day or 2. They've shared some interest with me. They wanted me to announce it here, so now they're going to bring it to their boards. Possibly, like, our fee could actually go down a little bit, but they would possibly reach out with a contract with them. I don't know. This is all brand new information. They wanted me to announce it before they announce it at their boards. Again, I'm a big proponent on the tri-community. We save tons of money by having shared resources. If Parks and Rec was split up between the 3 communities, we would have 3 Park and Rec directors, 3 accountants, 3 of everything. It would cost a lot more money. We work more efficiently, and all 3 communities enjoy all 3 community resources. I think this may be the time this is the last piece of the puzzle to put together. Our library is working better together. Years ago, there was a big lawsuit to break it apart. We're actually adding on to the library at no taxpayer cost. The library's together. I mean, I'm the biggest Washington. I mean, that logo, I would sleep with it at night if I had pajamas on. I'm the biggest marketing guy for Washington. I mean, when I took office, there wasn't even the logo in this boardroom. I think I've logoed the whole town up. We're getting new signage in the township. But again, Romeo Schools is really embedded in our community. So the school, everything feeds off the school district. So again, not to take away from Romeo, but we have deep-rooted Romeo roots here as well. So between the school district, the library, the Parks and Rec, we really are one community, an extension of all three. And it's no secret, I was one of the ones originally as well, looking to investigate this contract as well. But I'm torn as well. Like, I think maybe we need to give it another year. We have a lot of big projects on our plate for the next year. I'm kind of interested to give it a year just to see, let them see if we can do it, see if the other two communities do have interest. If not, that's fine. There's no pressure for them to join or not join. But it would be nice to rejoin all the shared resources once again all together and be back to a true tri-community and back together again. I'm saying I know residents in Bruce and Romeo, they're like, we watch you guys on WPRW up there, and kind of like what Paula said, we're extending from where we are at, but I don't know if I'm making sense, but the magazine I think is like a great thing to bring us all back together. It's
Yeah, we'd be excited to work with Romeo and Bruce again and provide services to them if that was something they were interested in. And certainly a model we could
I'm saying, like,
resolve.
I think I've had, like, I don't want to call it a black cloud, but since taking office, I had COVID. We had a major water break in the township. I mean, not in the township that affected the township. We've had numerous power outages, various sewer break this past year. And I mean, Matt's one of the first people I called to put it on Channel 6, any type of information. And as newspapers sadly are going away, I mean, you know, we do our social media posts, but I mean, I still think Channel 6 is an outlet. With or without them, I don't want to get rid of Channel 6. We need them in communication.
Does extending this,
Sorry, I'm blabbing.
does extending the contract or doing a 4-year contract affect the ability to get Romeo and Bruce Township part of this?
I just don't know how it will affect if we sign a contract of bringing them on, if there would be some price incentive for us.
Yeah, depending on what the structure.
I don't want to get into too much.
So let me jump in for a moment and then let Matt jump in on that one to answer that question. Because my understanding has been in a game, and that is how you say that word, a game. But my understanding is that for the entire duration of the contract with WBRW and this township, that they've been amenable to change. And so there are ways to put in windows. There are ways to put in, as your attorney said, you know, if you have an exit point or if we have benchmarks. But the biggest thing is really to retain what we have, to build upon what we have, and truly to make sure that we keep this staff so that whatever we have, we're able to build upon it and continue, again, pushing through those borders. I can't imagine that whatever happens down the road in a game of chess, that we wouldn't be willing to redo a contract to include contract services or partnerships with any of our tri-county areas. And so while, you know, contracts and keys, there's more for little boys and honest men, but I also understand that there's an ability to negotiate as well. What we're trying to do is make sure that we have solid standing, that we are stabilized, so that we can put the nuts and bolts together for this plan, so that we can also increase our sustainability as well. And then I want Matt to, Matt's the numbers guy, I'm the emotion person.
That was great. I don't remember what I was going to say, so I apologize.
Well,
I nailed it.
I just want to say, like, I have no issues with the current, I guess, contract if we were to extend it, but the only caveat I would add is if we do get another community, if we could put the
renegotiate.
clause in there that we could review the contract at that time. I don't know if that can be put in or not.
If we do that, where we could renegotiate the contract if there's another party that wants to join this.
Yeah, you can put in whatever you want to put in the agreement. It's negotiable. You can draft anything you want in an agreement, generally. But to bring in another party is going to really restructure the agreement. But you can do it at any time. If you, whatever the extension the board may agree on, if one of the other communities says, look, we want to change our structure, we would like to come on board, then they can either enter into an agreement, the cable company can either enter into an agreement with that other community one-on-one, and we keep our agreement, or we could simply, wouldn't be that simple, but we could undo the agreement that we have, get in a contract with the other community, and make it a two-community agreement with, the media company. So, you can.
We actually tried that before in the past at one was it Romeo or Bruce that wanted to
Yeah, so.
tie in with us, and we tried to come up with an agreement with them?
Yeah, so there was, originally when Michigan Community Media took this contract back in 2010, Washington contracted with Bruce and Romeo to provide cable services, and then we crafted the contract with Washington based on those deliverables that Washington created with those two communities. And then, yes, as to Mike's point, several years ago when we amended the contract, it was because we were bidding on work both in Bruce and Romeo, and the contract wasn't clear how that would be resolved. And so there was an amendment to the contract that essentially if we got work with an outside community, we would pay a percentage back to Washington for use of your assets to provide those services. So there's two different models that we've used just in the last 15 years that we would be certainly happy to explore if that's what happens.
Government has a tendency of moving at a slow pace. We all know that. We need, I think, as a board, to stand together and say, yes, and I'm going to harp on the 4 years, because if it takes 6 months for somebody to decide they want to come on board, and then they're gone and they say, sorry, your contract is not extendable based upon what you read in the current contract because it's going to expire in 2026. Me, as a former business owner, I would not agree to come on board. We need to have some stability so these people can come on board and show that the board is 100% behind WBRW. And as Paula said, and we've always made adjustments before in the past, the great thing about working together is you're able to do these things without any contention and try to work it out what's best for everybody.
No contention?
No,
I'm not familiar with that.
I think that we should put together a 4-year contract that has these provisions in it that allow for renegotiation if there's another community.
Let me ask for a clarification, because I know, you said you're amenable to change. I know Phyllis has always been, offered up anything that we needed to change or modify. She's always been more than willing to work with us on. But Bob, I want to understand, under the current contract, if we extend that contract, then we have the option to amend that contract at any time in the future?
No.
Or we are locked in with this one for the next year if we extend it, or
No.
4 years?
You currently have what is called the First Amendment to the original agreement. That takes it out to the end of this year. It will expire. If you decide to extend that, I would simply draft a document indicating that the First Amendment executed by the parties on whatever the date was, 2022, is hereby extended for a 1-year period until December 31, 2026, period. And then at any time during that next, 12 months and whatever we have left this year, the next 16 months or whatever it is, the parties are always free to enter into an amendment to that agreement. If you decide, or there's another community that wants to enter into this, I mean, again, it'll be up to you to decide whether it's a better deal to have one of those other communities just enter into a one-on-one contract with them, or to make it a 3-way agreement. That's your call to make. But whatever it is, it's doable. But you can amend these at any given time. But it takes 2 to tango, so both parties have to agree to it.
That's the point I was getting at.
Yeah, you are locked in.
If we extend this contract for 4 years,
You are
we're locked in
you are locked
unless
in.
both parties agree to change.
yes, unless there's an automatic mechanism that said this contract shall be amended if the following occurs. And you need to tell me to draft it what that following is. It could be a million things. It could be changing the law on your franchise fees. It could be another part, it could be another community coming in and wanting to share, whatever that may be. It may be an automatic triggering mechanism, but you have to be specific. And the board has to decide that. That's not what I do.
Is there some general term that could be used for all the things that might happen?
Not really, because you're going to have to specify what those triggering mechanisms are.
Contingencies, right. Well, I would say that the agenda item, this is the description, trustee Chaplin and Reinhold requested that the Michigan Community Media contract be placed on the agenda for discussion at the upcoming board meeting, which means the next one, not today, along with presentation from WBW and Michigan Community Media. This is a very brief agenda item. There's no backup documentation. So I wasn't prepared to vote on anything today. We have no language to vote on. I appreciate all the documents from Treasurer nicely, but we're talking about 4 years, we're talking about 1 year. I've heard someone else say 2 years outside of this meeting. I think we're not really sure what we're voting on. I think something should be drafted, and then we can vote on it for the next meeting. I don't think anyone is trying to get rid of WBRW at all. I think we're just trying to figure out, and I like Paula's ideas, your ROI and your searchable content, all the rebranding, it's all great, but we don't know what it looks like and if the tri-community thing is going to work out. I would feel that we should maybe look for a 1-year extension while Paula's working and your team is working all of this out. And the tri-community thing, if it works or not, I'm not sure, but I don't even know what I would be voting on today. I think we should, of course, we'd have to have Attorney Siebert draw something up. I don't know if you want 4, you want 1. I don't know.
Wait a minute, there's nothing for me to draw up. You tell me what you want to draw up.
Yeah, I know.
If it's as simple as taking the existing agreement and extending it to the end of next year, I can have that done by tomorrow morning. That's simple.
Okay.
But you're getting exactly what you have now, locked in for a 1-year period.
Okay.
No changes, unless and until the parties agree collectively to change it. But you're locked in and they're locked in.
Okay.
No matter what happens, you're in it. If that's what you want, that's fine. But if you want to put in these other triggering mechanisms, then you need to tell me what they are.
Right, exactly. And we don't
Can I
know
change
what
the
they are.
motion then to have Council Siebert amend the contract for another 4 years with board looking over it and then vote on it at the next meeting?
Okay, so you know what that means. That means that the existing agreement you have now, word for word, will remain in full force and effect for the next 4 years. That's what you're going to be looking at.
No.
No, it needs to have an amendment or something that says
think
that
you stated that
it can be changed. I'm not saying that it should say that it can be canceled.
No,
I'm
I
saying
understand.
that it can be amended if there's another part, there needs to be some stipulation.
True.
And then you could go the 4-year, but without that, I think it's just a 1 year.
I just want the trigger that if another community joins, then we can open the contract up.
Yep.
Well, then we'll need to rewrite the contract.
The contract's going to be completely rewritten if that happens.
True.
But I'm saying then we don't have to do the whole 4 years.
Right. I mean, it might need a new contract, but we can
If we do the
get out of
4
the one
years
we're in.
as is, but if
This
another
case,
community done.
if somebody else wants to join in, we can then redo the contract. Single party consent, you're thinking, our
Yeah, but-
side?
Well, we already did.
But both parties, the cable
And us.
and the township will have to agree to that.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bruce knocks on your door, now they're a client of mine, so you know, full disclosure. If they knock on your door and said, we want in, the two of us in this room are going to have to agree to allow them in, and then the entire contract would be redone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's my idea.
I think if Paula talks to Bruce, they'll go in.
What'd you say?
I said, I think if Paula talks to Bruce, they'll go in.
Let me at him.
You just can't move there.
So the motion on the floor right now is for a 4-year extension of the current contract.
Correct.
Okay, so either we want that or we don't at this point.
I mean, you're willing to modify it with.
Or did you want to withdraw that and make a new motion? Did you want to modify that?
No, I don't want to modify it.
Okay. So at some point, we need to call the question.
can I make a motion to alter his motion?
Can't.
Gary Kopp did that to me once.
Not that we exactly follow Robert's rules, but you can make you can make a motion to amend the motion so long as it's relevant, which it would be, but it depends what the amendment is.
Who's this guy Roberts? Let me talk to him.
The guy's 125 years old. You don't want to talk to him.
Well, the two questions that I'm struggling with right now when you talk about it is, do we want to do a single-year amendment right now of the current contract, or do we want to come back in 2 weeks with either approve the current contract for a length of time or with a modified contract to approve at that time?
If we come back, I want the modified agreement stated for 4 years.
Right. From a negotiating standpoint, if you're dealing with Bruce and Romeo, wouldn't they want to know that you have a long-term agreement with them?
Anybody
I would
would.
think they would want that.
Anybody would.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And I'm not, and I'm amenable to a longer-term contract, but I do think there are some changes that we need to put in. There's some financial stipulations and some service levels in there that I don't think apply in this contract because it was written so long ago. Some changes do need to be made.
Okay.
So if we're going with the longer-term contract, I would like to see some changes written in.
Okay. Do you know what those are now, or do we need another discussion?
Well, it would have to do with the PEG fees, it would have to do with the service levels, what services they're going to provide to the different organizations in the community, things like that that need to be, some of that language is a little dated. I'm sure that WBRW's got a whole list of things that they would probably like to talk about in that time too. So, and that's where it gets complicated. If we're talking about rewriting the contract, it becomes a larger discussion with both parties, and that's kind of what the Cable Committee and WBRW need to do over the course of the next several months. So if we're getting into rewriting a contract for 2 weeks from now, then are we going to come back a month, 2 months, 3 months after that and then rewrite the contract again?
Okay, so maybe the Cable Committee and WBRB should get together and iron those things out, come up with a contract agreement?
I think that would be a great idea, but in the interim, we have people, we have a deadline coming up for contract expiration. We need to notify WBRW if we're going to continue their services.
Well, I
Wait,
make
is
a
that
motion.
90 days notice or something? Is that coming up?
No, they have October 31st you need to know by,
Yeah.
correct?
That's pretty.
Yeah, they need
That's
time.
pretty quick. You don't think we could work out a 4-year agreement by then?
I would think if we're going to do it, we should probably do it once and do it right, rather than piecemeal.
Well, do we need to extend the current contract for a whole year to do that, or maybe we should just extend it for 90 days?
I don't like to play with people's lives like that. If
Well, no,
if it give me a year.
I don't think we're actually playing with their lives, because we're not going to cancel the contract or get rid of them. We just want to.
That's not the plan.
Okay,
Yeah,
right, so,
I would see that there would be no problem. However, I always prepare for the worst-case scenario. You never know what's going to happen.
okay.
I've seen other boards, not this one, this board's great, but other boards fight over minutia to the point of where things don't get done.
Well, I would like to
We've got a motion on the floor right now.
If we do decide to change it, there's no sense of urgency if we extend it. It's like doing the congressional budget. Everything needs to get done in October, but by the time January rolls around, it gets done. The sense of urgency is gone. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't have a sense of urgency. It just that it appears that the sense of urgency would be gone and not be able to pick it back up.
I understand that.
Are we pretty clear on what the items that need to be changed, or is there a lot of discussion that needs
I'll
to
defer to the two members of the Cable Committee who are sitting here at the table.
But Trustee Milam is on the Cable Committee, and she's not here today.
Right.
And she made it clear that she was not available today, and yet we're bringing this up, and she's part of the Cable Commission. So it would be prudent and probably fair to have something to look at next week, because by this agenda item, none of us were prepared to vote on anything today. We have no backup documentation, so I don't understand how it got to this point.
I looked at everything, so.
Do you guys have anything to say?
I guess our feeling is we'd like to see a contract extended, and I think I'd speak for the board. I mean, we're certainly willing to do the work that's required to find an agreement that works best for the township and Michigan Community Media / WBRW. But again, the deadline for we're coming up to October 31st. What's realistic I think there's been work going on in the background for this for almost the last year from the cable committee, and so I know there's been some, so we've had some conversations. I guess at this point, again, our request is still to extend the contract in whatever term you see best, but the only way we're going to really resolve all of these outstanding questions about tri-community agreement, what's the structure of the organization moving forward, do we want to reorganize, do we want to rebrand, we're not going to resolve those by October 31st. So I think that, again, we would appreciate an extension. We have a great relationship with the township. We have a great relationship with everybody in this building, or at least we think we do. We've been in here a lot the last 3 months because of the fire. All three of the treasury, the supervisor's office, the clerk's office. And so we like what we do. We appreciate being here, and we'd like to stay here. So please extend us.
Yeah. And to Matt's point too, is you're not going to get everything done in 1 year.
Correct. It's a strong starting point.
Anybody else?
No, well, we've got a motion on the floor.
So we have a motion.
There was no second.
I thought it was you.
Repeat the motion one more time.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you seconded.
No, he amended
You amended.
his motion, so then it would take another second.
Right.
If I recall from a half hour ago, the motion on the table is to extend the WBRW contract for another 4 years. I think that's what I said.
With the amendments or something?
You did state an amendment after that. Are you withdrawing that amendment?
Well, as Mr. Siebert said, there's no way we can put what-if scenarios in a contract because it's a million that you can do.
No, that's not exactly what I said. You can put all the what-ifs in you want, but I need to know what those what-ifs are to
Right.
draft it. And I'm not hearing anything.
Neither am I.
Well, then vote on it.
Call the vote.
Okay. Well, do you still second it or no? If you don't second
I
it,
didn't support the amended motion.
he said he didn't amend it.
I think what's the original one? The original one, Mr. Stevens?
Or no? It's fine either way, I don't.
I'm going to withdraw my second based on the discussion tonight.
Okay, so there's no motion. I'd like to make a motion, we extend the current WBR contract for 1 year.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Brown, to extend the current contract 1 year.
Can I make a suggestion real quick?
Question on the motion?
Question on the motion? Right. Let's not wait 30 days before we get this done. If we're going to extend it, I think we should put a deadline on it and sometime early or mid-2026 to start talking about this, so we're not here for an hour and a half trying to figure out what we want to try to do with 3 weeks left. So if that motion goes through, I'd like to see a hard date in 2026 when we start publicly talking about the agreement to put these employees at ease and everybody else to know that we're all working together as one.
How about our first meeting in January?
I think it's a little bit too early. I was thinking more like summertime.
Does the extension?
Well, I give you what you want.
That was, okay.
No,
So when
the
you-
motion for the extension stands, but I understand,
No, it-
wanting to
no,
create a sense of urgency.
No
No,
greater
but-
than, no later than the second meeting in the month of January of 2026.
Is the motion for 1 year extension from the end of the existing contract or from today? Or what?
From the end of the existing contract for
So
1 year.
it's a year and 3 months then?
With the same 90-day notice.
Yeah, absolutely, same
It'll
contract.
be extended until December 31st of 2026.
Okay.
Just to piggyback what Mike said, we have been meeting the past year, the Cable Commission, it's me, Michelle, and it was John, and now recently John backed out, Dennis is on it. Again, it's a big undertaking. We have looked at all different scenarios. Again, it does take time, and so I've said we have been meeting once a month at a minimum, if not twice a month. But again, we're a very busy township. We got a lot of projects coming up in the next year. We're going to be more busier next year than we are this year, so it is a big undertaking.
And I agree
That's why I was
with
just-
Treasurer Nicely that we don't want to just kick the can down the road. Paula and her team have a
Yeah.
wonderful, your presentation was fantastic. All your ideas are great. And with the Tri-County thing, possibly in or out, we're not really sure. I don't want to, as Treasurer Nicely said, I don't want to be in, September next year not knowing what we're doing. I think we should look at it, extend it for a year and look at it maybe in March or April, and maybe we'll have more information from the other communities by then, so we'll know what direction we're going in, and all the objectives that you're working on, we'll know what we're looking at.
Well, I mean,
Nobody wants to get rid of you. We love you.
The only
okay?
concern I
We
have
just
is-
want to know what we're approving.
There's been an ongoing discussion for a year, and it doesn't seem like it's reached any conclusion. And it seems like, how much time do we need to make these decisions?
I think March is too early, Clerk Brown, because we're right in the middle of the budget season.
Okay.
Yeah, me personally, I won't have any time January to March
June.
because I'm working night and day with budgets, so
If we say no later than the second meeting in June,
I
we
agree.
can start that up again.
Yep.
We get a little bit of a lull between Memorial Day, right before the holidays of the 4th of July. Everybody has a chance to talk about it, school's out, so that won't impede on what they need to do with the schools, and we can all have an open discussion on it.
But I think that gives the cable committee the opportunity then to bring information back to the board, for us to look at the contract and go through it, what we have now, and then compare that to what we want, and gives us that running room to get a final contract where we don't have to go back to it 3 or 4 times and amend it. So I think it's, it's good for them because it takes the question mark out of their lives for the next year and a half. And it gives us something to work from. It gives us a starting point.
Well,
And we're going to know what Bruce and Romeo decided what to do.
Yeah, until we get more
That's going to
information.
affect the contract, so.
Exactly.
Yes.
well, for the record, I'm in favor of the 4-year, but I will vote on the 1 year.
What the June date?
The June date for discussion. I agree.
Yes.
I agree with that. Yeah. So we have the motion.
I just want to say, though, we're the cable commission. We can meet whenever we want. We don't have to wait till June.
Right, no, but
No, I'm just saying.
No, but
No,
for the
of
board as a
course.
whole to take.
That's just a,
No, we just
that's,
don't want,
because-
we don't want them.
that's a deadline. That's not,
June to October goes by pretty fast. The summer blew by pretty fast.
I know.
if you can get it done sooner, let's get it done sooner.
Yeah, I'm just.
So the motion is,
So the motion got changed now to a 1-year contract.
Yes.
Motion by Chaplin, supported by Brown? Or was it vice versa?
Yeah. Brown
The motion to extend the current contract for 1 year and for the board to bring this up for discussion and action at the
no
June,
later than the second meeting.
no later than the second meeting in June of 2026.
second.
Okay.
All righty.
If no questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could I please be a part of those meetings with the Cable Commission?
Well, yeah, if we're talking about
course.
contracts, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there would be us three, so I would extend it to 3 of you,
Thank you.
whoever you want to bring, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have a quorum. I mean,
No,
an amount you have to not bring. Oh,
yeah, okay.
okay.
I got 3 right there.
We know Roberts, too.
He makes the rules, right?
Right.
Okay, if no questions, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
We
much.
look forward to working with you.
You too.
Thank you for your.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great
Appreciate it.
presentation.
Thanks,
Appreciate
everybody.
you doing that research, Mike.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you, too.
Thank you. Look forward to working with you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Paula. Thank you.
And for Ms. Tutman's side, go Bucks. And for your side, go Bucks.
I didn't hear you.
For your side, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Husband's in the house.
No,
Oh, that's so funny.
that's why I said it.
Thank you. Thank you. Give them 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8,
Mike, I
7.
appreciate the intent of what you're trying to do. I agree with the intent.
Okay, we'll get back right on agenda. 10.3, the Clinton River Watershed Council contract renewal. This was reviewed by our attorney, Bob Siebert. I don't think there's any, you were okay with us signing it. Legal counsel has approved us to re-sign this Clinton Watershed Council contract renewal. If there's no questions on it, I'd like to make a motion to sign to renew it.
Support.
Supported by Stevenson.
I did
Yeah,
have a
question.
question. I know it's a long meeting, but this is, I highlighted what was the recommendation from Attorney Siebert, and he said that, under Mr. Siebert's review, he said that typically the township would only indemnify a contractor in the event actions by the township caused any liability or potential liability to the contractor. However, in paragraph 10, it says the township indemnify the Clinton River Watershed Council for actions of the CRWC unrelated to any of the actions of the township. So that is a question.
Well, I raised it because it's an
Yeah.
unusual provision.
It
But on
is.
the other hand, they're not doing heavy concrete work. This is the Clinton Township River Shed.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is they could
Right.
possibly do that would run into liability. So I raised it because it's a legitimate point, but it's hardly a deal killer. And as I indicated in my review letter, that's a canned contract. Whether or not you could get them to amend it or not, I don't know that, but I wouldn't lose sleep over that provision.
Okay.
Again, I just don't know, I mean, I read the contract, I know what they do generally, but it's not like they're doing any physical construction work where they're going to get you in a situation where you're covered.
What do they do?
Pardon?
What do they do?
They're activists for clean water, as they say.
Activists?
It's mostly educational
They're
services.
It's promotional and
I
educational.
shouldn't call them an activist. They're an active group that
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that. They're a county group.
So they don't really do anything, they're just,
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
Yes,
that.
they do.
Don't say that, it's.
Kayla can explain them better than me.
It's mainly for stormwater.
Yeah.
Alyssa.
No, they're very important. They're very
There's a
important.
lot that's done, but it's mainly education.
I wouldn't say that.
it's mostly education?
Yeah, so that.
You're going to get a call tomorrow from the county.
Yeah, and I'll just jump in as well to defend them. You have a permit with the state, an MS4 permit related to the management of your stormwater systems. They provide a ton of that baseline educational information that's necessary to keep that permit active every year. So
Okay.
it's a
That
huge
makes-
value for what you're getting.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that.
Okay.
That's a good
How do we
question.
rewind a live broadcast?
Okay, so that's a motion by Praviti, seconded by Stevenson. If no other questions, we do like clean water. Roll call.
Previti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next is 10.4, the revised cost share agreement for Powell Road. Most of you weren't here. Originally, the board voted on this 2 years ago. We voted to use the remaining ARPA funds to pay for the pavement of Powell Road from 30 and a half where it ends to 32 mile. This will help make that whole area more of a, diversify that area into the IRT area that we were looking to build in that area as we bring water and sewer into that area this past year. I've been on the county for the last 2 years to get this road paved every month. They finally put it out to bid on August 15th, and the price, of course, now is a lot higher. They've come back to add an increase, basically of $769,355 to our share. I cannot approve this. I need board approval. The ARPA funds are all accounted for the original amount. I'm asking the board to approve this so we can stay on project. They do want to begin this month. The remaining part of the increase is the new DPW building approach, which would add $230,444, which I would like to make that part of the DPW hit their budget, part of the fund balance of theirs for capital needs. And I should restate it, actually, to use the portion of the bond proceeds that we're receiving to pay for that DPW entrance. The remaining increase of $538,871 to be funded by the township's capital expense fund, which we usually use for road infrastructure. As much as it pains me to ask for this, due to the cost share, I'll make the motion for these, to ask the board's approval to, for the increase of this total of $769,355 for the cost share to pave Powell Road from the original CSA of December 2023.
Second?
Seconded by Clerk Brown. Any questions on the motion?
Sam, does this help open up the area to industrial buildings and in employment and things, or is it just all
Yes, so like, the last 2 years, we've put water and sewer in that whole area to help diversify it. There is interest there, which we're actually not a part of. There's non-disclosures now in that some company is looking at that area. We've spent a tremendous amount of money in that area to help diversify it to more of an industrial research and technology area. This would, of course, help make another vein north and south, but help create that area more of an industrial area.
So it would help maybe bring jobs to the area and tax base?
Bring jobs, but the tax base is huge, and we'll actually get all the money we've put in the ground back from water and sewer in that area, so.
Okay.
So, I mean, it would help the area, help become what we are master planning and future land use, so that the short and
Consistent with the master plan.
consistent. If no other questions, then roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Nicely?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Motion passed. Next is 10.5, remote water pressure stations work authorization. So we have Mike Kozak here from Giffords Webster to explain this one.
It's an exciting one. It is to us, me and Rich. You have a SCADA system that Rich and his team use every day to monitor and operate your entire water and sewer system. Everything can be remotely operated. A ton of information is fed into that from a variety of stations that you have throughout the township. On the water side, this board and the DPW have invested millions of dollars recently to continue to extend water main to the west and north in the township to provide fire protection and clean drinking water to your residents and businesses. Every time we build, and we recently constructed and put online the new booster station on 30 Mile Road, that station is connected to your SCADA system, and again, it provides real-time control and data back to Rich and his team. That includes providing what the pressures are coming in and out of that station. In that case, it's a booster station, so the water comes in, we pump it up a little bit, and it leaves at a higher pressure. The issue is that as we've continued to expand the system out, we have some facilities that are around the edges of those extensions, but there is water main, particularly in Seven Lakes, kind of all the way to the north and west of the system, that we simply don't have real-time monitoring of what the pressures are, in particular during the summer when we're watering in the morning and demands go 2 to 3 times what they are the rest of the year. We don't have that real data. Rich has a mobile unit that they can take out to a hydrant and put out there with a battery, and they have to go and change the battery out all the time. It's not the best way to do it. So if you remember, and again, we're going to test everybody's memory, we installed a level sensor station, which is on the sewer side down on Hayes Road a couple years ago at the request of the state of Michigan to make sure we always knew what the water level in our sewer was. I've had a lot of luck with that in the sense that that station is completely solar powered, does not need an electrical meter or hook up to DTE. There's a small panel on it that is unobtrusive, sits in a stainless steel panel, and then there's just a connection down to the manhole. We're proposing to do something similar here in 2 locations that would do the same thing for water pressure. It would provide constant pressure monitoring at these 2 stations. One of them is in a remote spot at the end of Tamarack Court, up in Seven Lakes, kind of our furthest northwest portion of the main. And the other one would be installed at one of the check valve stations that we constructed along with the booster station earlier this year. So this proposal is primarily services from Motor City Electric Technologies, which is your SCADA provider. They will fabricate that panel, take it out to the site, make all the connections, build everything. We'll just help with a little bit of permitting and some construction drawings that need to be provided to the Department of Roads, because these are both going in the road right of way. So it's a long way of saying we're going to have a little metal panel sitting up there with a connection point down to a structure. But at the end of the day, it's going to really help these guys manage their system much more effectively. These were budgeted items that we had planned to do this fiscal year, as indicated in our letter.
And it came in less.
I believe we're below what
Yeah,
we had originally allocated there. Yeah, exactly.
These are solar powered?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, and there's batteries inside of that panel, so it's constantly charging, so at nighttime, it still works. But yeah, these, again, Motor City has put in dozens of these throughout the county for public works, both the county public works and various communities, and had really good success with them, as have we. So, very reliable.
The solar panels are effective through the winter?
Yep, yeah, no issues. They will continue to work with sunlight. They're angled at the optimum angle, you know, they don't get moved on a regular basis, not
What
like they
about
rotate.
snow on them?
They're above.
If they're at an angle, and they're such that that snow's not going to stay on there very long at all. Again, we've gone at least a winter already for sure with
Right.
the one at Hayes Road, and had no issues whatsoever.
problem.
They work great.
So I used them in Clinton Township. We had 6 on the SCADA system. And solar power's come so far, that's the only way to do them now.
Yeah.
Nothing with Edison.
All right, then I would make a motion to approve the work authorization for Giffords Webster to provide professional surveying and design permitting services for the proposed remote water pressure stations for a lump sum of $9,300, and to also approve the DPW director to execute the proposal for Motor City Electric Company dated August 19th, 2025, in the amount of $79,996 to construct and install the proposed remote water pressure stations as described.
Wow,
Support.
Okay,
that's a mouthful.
motion by Chaplin, supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
motion passed.
I have one question for Kayla. Do you know if there's any grants? I think somebody was talking a while ago about having everything become green and you get special grants from the state or the federal government. Is there anything that could be used to apply for that to help reduce the cost?
I'd have to look at the particular project and which funding sources are still available. There was a lot of funding for some of those retrofits, especially for municipal facilities, to go towards energy efficiency through the bipartisan infrastructure law. Some of those programs are wrapping up right now, so I can't say whether that funding is still there.
Thank you. 10.6, additional meter readers purchase. If those of you remember this here at the budget workshop, every year the DPW, we put in their budget to buy so many of these meter readers each year. Our current system that reads the water meters is becoming obsolete each year as we continue. We're afraid that this computer may not last that much longer. It's not being serviced much longer. To expedite this, rather than continuing at the pace we have, we kind of had an ambitious goal of purchasing the final 2,700 meter readers from Ferguson Waterworks. The reason we're buying them all now is we're expecting to have the DPW do this over the next 4 months. This has been in the budget for the last several years. We do a few hundred every year. We're trying to do the final push for this year, so we're actually kind of pulling ahead on this budget item in the future years. But it's something that needs to be done with, it's kind of like our BSNA, our computer software. Eventually, they're not going to service it. This is another instance where the system, another year or two, they're not going to service. So we want to get ahead of the doomsday
And if I could add that in the agenda item, it says that the current software, MCM, is out of date and no longer supported. So Heather Berger, who works in DPW, one of her jobs is to monitor the water meters, and she has a lot of problems with that because the software is outdated. And so that's why there's a push to try to get this done, because she works very hard, and it's not an IT thing, it's the software. So that's a dual purpose. Dual purpose.
Do we have the manpower to install 2,700 of them in a
Yeah,
short
so
period of time?
Rich knows we're going to
gonna-
do a little bit of overtime to get this done.
We're going to try to use our summer help,
Oh,
you
to
know.
do that.
They're going to be called.
Okay, we're not going to have like 1,000 of these things sitting in a warehouse somewhere collecting dust or anything because we can't get to
We
them.
can't, we're not going to over order and bring them in because of the warranty,
Right,
first of all.
right.
So, and we don't have to
We're going
pay
to
for
stagger them in.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
okay.
going to try to stagger.
So you just
them.
want approval to buy the 2,700, you're going to get them a few at a time as you need them?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going to
We didn't want
make
to
it
come
hit.
every meeting asking for 500.
I got you.
Yeah, we're going to try.
So over what time?
And then
do you
there's a
think-
price break for buying the final 2,700.
Over what time frame do you think that you'll acquire these?
We've come up with a lot of timeframes, but I've got a lot of work. So we're going to do the best we can.
Are we
giving
talking
it
a
till
year or
Christmas
2
Eve.
years? What are we talking?
No, less than a year.
Less than that?
I
Less than a
hope.
year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're shooting for Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Overtime, right?
We're going to do it at your house Christmas Eve, 7
I
o'clock.
don't need
We all
one.
vote.
We're closed the week between Christmas and New Year's. They can do
Give
it.
us
These
some.
are water meters,
We'll
right?
do it.
Don't need one in
Water
my house.
readers, not
We'll help
water
you.
meters.
What?
They're
Yeah,
water
readers, not meters, sorry.
Readers.
Well, they're both, aren't they? Do they meter the water and read the
Like
water?
fun or
They don't?
fun?
No, they send the information back to the township or the reader in the basement.
Oh, so the meter stays in place, it's just this gets kind of added to
It's,
it?
I should have brought it. It's basically,
There it
they
is.
put it on the side of the house with an antenna.
So
It's that,
Yes,
Yeah.
there it is.
if
Reader.
this is on your house, this is going to be replaced.
with,
This is the old
It's going to
one.
go right up to the cloud.
And then
Here's the
this
new
is
one.
what the new one looks like.
oh, so you're not changing the meter, these are pretty
This
simple.
is all on the
The
outside of the
readers,
house.
not meters.
Maybe we could help.
Is there electrical wires that have to be
It's
connected? and
done
stuff?
by a phone wire, three little wires
So,
with gel caps.
so how long does it take to replace?
It does take, because you got to program it and everything when you stop.
How much do they weigh?
I mean,
Sorry, bad joke.
What?
Old joke from another time.
Do they come in any other colors?
No,
What
it's just
color?
curious. It's a big job or what it is?
I wanted
so
to
if you
mention,
have this,
No.
it'll be at your house.
Okay.
We kind of broke it down. Maybe they can, how many per day each person can do. And
We're going to give it a good shot.
Okay. All right.
I'll see you soon at our house.
I'm going to make the motion to approve the request to purchase 27 additional meter readers from Ferguson Waterworks, number 3386, in the amount of $314,685.
Second? Oh, go ahead. You can.
Second.
Okay, great.
Motion by Stevenson, supported by Reinhold. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Can we put our logo on it? Next is 10.6, or 10.7, sorry. Buyback 6 cemetery plots at the Mount Vernon Cemetery.
Okay, this is, we had a family that purchased cemetery plots years ago. The parents purchased them, and the 6 remaining children one of the daughters is a custodian of them, and they decided they do not want these cemetery plots. So she would like us to buy them back. And we have to have board approval to reimburse her for the original. So they were originally purchased at $175 each times 6. So we are seeking to, and this is in the Mount Vernon Cemetery, I'm not sure if I said that, to approve the buyback of 6 cemetery plots for a total of $1,050.
I'm going to have to disagree because we have several plots at Whitechapel. Well, they don't buy them back. You have to put them on the open market. I feel bad for the family, but if they have to, they can put them on the open market and try to sell it instead of us giving the money back to them.
But this is in our ordinance, our cemetery ordinance. It says that it's a stat that we can buy them back with board approval.
We can with board approval, but
Well, I would just like to ask, because I know it's gone up recently, but what are we currently selling lots for in the cemetery right now? Because it's a bargain to buy them at $150.
Oh, that's,
$100
yeah.
every time.
Some are, it could be 1,000, it gets less for cremains, right?
Yeah. So
300,
this is about,
1,000.
this is just a fraction of the value of the lots.
Do we get many requests to buy cemetery plots?
No, it's,
We do?
we do.
And these could be sold for $1,000
Yeah.
or around that area?
Yeah, we're not going to sell them for $175.
Well, seems like a good deal.
So I'll make the motion that we allow the purchase back of 175 each, totaling 1,050 for the 6 lots.
Gonna wait for Dennis, or?
Second.
He may abstain.
Here he comes.
Motion by Praviti, seconded by Brown, to approve the repurchase of 6 vacant lots in Mount Vernon Cemetery at 175 each, totaling 1,050. Roll call, if no questions.
Praviti.
Yes.
Brown, yes. Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
No.
Stevenson.
Yes.
And Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Next is 10.8, the Green Macomb acceptance of the 26 Mile Road, Stony Creek Metro Park tree planting. This is something I know we've been working on for a while. We want to start planting trees along 26 Mile Road. Shelby Township's in support of this with us. We're going to start by Stony Creek Metro Park and work our way east. I don't know if Kayla wants to talk a little bit about, or Dana.
I can hop up and answer any questions that the board has.
Okay.
So this grant was awarded by Green Macomb, but we need a formal recommendation and motion from the board to accept that grant. There is a match requirement for the trees, but the match comes through labor with Rich and his team, who will actually be the ones planting the trees.
Can you repeat that again? So what's the cost of the township?
The cost of the township is just DPW labor, and I believe Rich has provided those cost estimates. I actually have not seen them myself yet. For 26 Mile Road, which is the agenda item in front of you, it's 15 trees that'll be planted in the median, so it takes less than a day to plant those trees. And water.
We're on 26?
So 26 Mile median, it's not a clear median to describe, but it's right in front of the Stony Creek entrance. So between Main Park Drive and Main Park Drive.
Okay.
Yes.
Who owns
Kind
that
of
property?
across from Crystal Creek.
Sorry.
Who owns that property?
That's Macomb County Department of Roads right-of-way. So we will be submitting our permit applications next week, contingent on board approval, but we've been discussing with them, and the Green Macomb program comes out of Macomb County as well, so those two departments work together.
Is it simply beautification, or is there some other purpose?
So the Green Macomb program, part of it's beautification, and I think that was Washington Township's interest on 26 Mile in particular. But the program is also dedicated to increasing tree canopy in Macomb County. And so they received a grant from the U.S. Forest Service to basically administer funds to local communities to do these types of projects and increase, our natural features, our tree canopy, and green infrastructure as well.
Last year, we got 25 trees from Relief, Michigan, and we planted them at Hawks Acres.
Yeah.
This is kind of an extension of that. Relief, I can only do it every other year. I can't do it repeatedly, but this one looks like we could do it every year almost, I think.
Yeah,
That's
and
part of
we
the
actually have 2 projects through Green Macomb this year. So I know the agenda items, some of them say 26 miles, some of them say M53. Two different projects, but same program.
Shelby Township is in favor of this, and Stony Creek, how can we split the cost 3 ways?
So Stony Creek has agreed to maintain the trees, which is part of the match share. So they would keep mowing the median and taking care of that work. Washington Township's only role is to dig the holes for the trees, put them in the ground, and then water them. Water bags are provided for the trees, so we're talking going out like once every 3 months to provide water only during their first year of life. So really, really small cost is the assumption there. Shelby Township, they didn't bring the project forward to Green Macomb, so they didn't have any interest in helping fund it right now, but obviously supportive because it's a shared border.
I just got one question. 20 years down the road, and somebody runs in and gets killed hitting one of those trees, is the township liable?
No, it is Macomb County Department of Roads right-of-way. And that, that's something that the Department of Roads looks at really closely. It's why we have to submit permits and make sure that we're outside of their clear view area when we're planting those trees. But no, the township wouldn't be liable. It's still Macomb County right-of-way, and there are protections as well for government agencies.
And they're not nuisance trees like cottonwood or ones that drop large things on the ground and hit windshields and things like that.
Correct. These were specifically chosen for that location, and it comes from, Macomb County has a specific list for this region's climate and also like salt tolerance from road salts and proximity to traffic. And those things are also vetted by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. So we've had those two bodies and Department of Roads now reviewing that species list. It's a surprisingly difficult, drawn-out process to get trees planted.
Yeah, originally we were going to plant these in April, and it's gotten prolonged.
Takes a long time.
Rich, too, wants to make sure there's no infrastructure underneath the trees.
Well, not going to be busy putting meters out or anything right now.
Yeah, so Spalding to Decker is, we submitted the misdig tickets. Everything will be flagged before we go out there to dig holes, so all of those logistics are being taken care of.
If we approve this, when does that happen?
Right now, the tentative planting date for 26 Mile is October 3rd.
Has anybody reached out to
Get
Shelby
your
to see if
shovel.
we can split the cost on the labor there?
Dana, do you want to?
I'm sorry.
Has anybody reached out to Shelby regarding splitting the cost of the labor to do this?
We have not, no, because we submitted for the project. It's something we can look into as we kind of progress along, because our intent is to take a segment each year, and head closer east. So maybe that's something, if the board is okay with, we can always inquire next year and see if they would want to partner. This way, then it, alleviates some of the work that our DPW is doing.
Well, if we're going to do it this year, they should do it next year.
So every other year?
Okay,
So I'd like to make the motion to allow the supervisor to sign the 26-mile Road Green Macomb Grant Acceptance Letter.
Support.
That makes sense. Supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Trivedi.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Next is the Green Macomb Grant Acceptance for M53 26-mile road tree planting. So we have the kind of the same thing, but this one's on M53 by the 26
Brown,
mile.
did you want to introduce it, and I can
Yes, I
jump in
will.
with any questions?
Do I have to go? Can I do it here? Okay. We received a grant for M53 north of 26 Mile Road to plant 100 trees on the west and east sides of the road. We are asking for, and it's also a Green Macomb project. They're giving us 100 trees, all approved and for the planting type and that sort of thing. And we need approval from the board to accept the grant. And there's also another agenda item. Oh, I'm sure, okay, their grant is $20,000 for the trees, for 100 trees. But there's also another item, which is the a resolution for the maintenance agreement with MDOT. And did you want to talk about that, Kayla?
Yeah, and they'll have to be, I believe, 3 separate motions
Oh, I
made.
shouldn't put them together.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
We'll do separate votes.
So-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna be
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can talk about them together. The MDOT project's obviously a little more involved because it's state right-of-way. We have submitted the MDOT permits already to, one, see if they're going to approve that planting location, but also make sure that we have what we need from them if the board decides to move forward with the grant. So MDOT's requirement is that if the board is moving forward, they also sign a maintenance contract with MDOT, which just says that the township is responsible for planting the trees, staking them, and keeping them alive for that first year. MDOT will not be responsible for any tree trimming or replanting trees if the township decides that they want to do that. But they would continue to mow that area. That's really the big thing. MDOT will continue, to mow in that space. The township, of course, would not have to replace those trees. This is a grant for a one-time planting. You're not liable for keeping the same number and type of trees in that right-of-way for the next foreseeable future. But there's some responsibility there to make sure that you guys are doing what you need to do in that beginning and not holding MDOT responsible for that tree planting. Does that?
And also, we have, this tree planting is a little more extensive, so we're looking to plant the trees September 22nd, Monday, through, with DPW staff, through Thursday. And then on Friday, we have volunteers, mostly from the Abraham Street, the Washington Woods neighborhood, who are going to volunteer to plant the final. DPW is going to plant 80 trees because they're quick at it. And the volunteers on that Friday will plant the remaining 20 trees. And people were asking, and our third item is what is the cost share for Washington Township? And if you look at item 10, 11, we have it all written out here. Approximately, we're not exactly sure, $10,000 for the labor for planting, $625 for portable toilet rentals, because we have a staging area for the volunteers, and we already have residents from Washington Woods who've agreed to let us put a porta potty there for the volunteers. We're going to supply water, granola bars, arrow signs, the tree ties. As Kayla said, Green Macomb is going to, they will stake out the trees where they're going to be. And these are different stakes. These are stakes once the trees are planted. We're going to put this, we will pay for the stakes $500, and then tree ties. That's $486. The water bags, as Kayla mentioned, for Dana's planting, Green Macomb supplies these water bags, and they go on the bottom of every tree, and they only have to be refilled every 2 months or so.
Yeah, 2 or 3
They hold a lot of water.
For the first year.
So it would just be the refilling of the water bags. And I thought it was only for the first year. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then the DPW equipment, we're not quite sure, but we have a ballpark price from Rich of $5,200. The dump truck, the trailer, skid steer, and a backhoe. Additional costs could be $16,846 is what our estimate is, but not to exceed $21,000. And this is a cost share project, so we're almost 50% cost share with Green Macomb.
Meaning that half of that 21,000 is paid by someone else? Or paid by the,
No, so Green
or
Macomb
the
has
21 is our
granted-
share?
Green Macomb granted up to 20,000, so they're providing the 100 trees.
Right.
Washington Township has to match that in labor, staff time, whatever it be. So in total, the total project cost is around 40,000, with Green Macomb paying half and Washington
And when would
Township.
these be planted?
Sorry.
When would these be planted?
Starting September 22nd is the goal.
The week before Dana's.
Right.
Before 26 Mile
Right.
Road.
And you have people to do all those?
We won't be doing those during that week. I'll tell you.
Me and you are going to do
Maybe
those.
the kids, maybe the kids will be.
I'm not volunteering, so.
Trustee Reinhold had asked, for 26 Mile, what the purpose of that planting was. On that side, it really is beautification and expanding tree canopy. Along M53, one of the major considerations was safety and screening for those residents after the accident that occurred. It's been almost a year now.
December 19th.
Yeah, so it has been a
Going
year,
on a month.
yes.
Are they volunteering to help plant these trees?
Yes,
They are.
They are?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Yes,
Pretty
they are.
awesome.
So this one, Green Macomb was really excited about it because it's serving that dual function, and it's going to be used as an example in the county of what these trees can provide in addition to everything else we know.
That's great. Okay.
Kayla, could you help answer? I'm sorry, Risa.
No, I was just going to say, I just want the board to know this wasn't obviously budgeted, so this will be a budget amendment later in the year, because we didn't put this in the budget, so you guys know. No, just so, because I don't want later
Fair
you guys
enough.
ask.
In the description, it says the township match for a grant includes staff labor used maintenance until the trees are established for 2 or 3 years. But then in the agreement, it says, upon completion of construction, the agency, at its sole cost and expense, inspect, maintain, and operate the facility as constructed by the project in accordance with all the rules and regulations therefore. It sounds like to me that once this goes in, that the township is responsible for the annual maintenance on this, and do we have an estimated cost of what the annual maintenance would be on this?
Right, so the annual maintenance for tree plantings is really just once the tree is established after that first year. After that point, there's no longer an expectation to water the trees or do any of that kind of work. They'll already have been staked, and this is part of Green Macomb's maintenance agreement with the grant as well. I'm not expecting that you would need to go out there and do limb cleanup or anything like that because it's so far off of the road that it's not impacting anything. If a tree does die, again, Washington Township doesn't have to replace it. You're not held liable to that because there's no regulation saying that those trees have to be there.
And you don't anticipate we will have to be trimming these trees or anything like that?
I don't, because of the placement. They're not interfering with roadway or with people's yards or fences.
There's no wires or anything like that?
No wires there. We're doing the misdig tickets to make sure we avoid any underground utilities.
Are they a type of tree that doesn't need a lot of maintenance?
Yes, these are all low maintenance plants. So the idea is you plant them, you water them for that year, and then you leave them alone, and they live their life there in that location.
Is September the time frame a good time to plant them, or should it be done at another time?
No, fall is the optimal time to plant these trees. So yeah, Green Macomb dictates that. They either do fall plantings or spring.
Well, in order to get the ball rolling, then I will make a motion to request that the supervisor accept the Green Macomb grant for trees along M53 and to sign the grant award agreement.
Support.
Motion by Chaplin, seconded by Stevenson. No questions? Roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Stevenson. Praviti.
Yep.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Reinhold.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, motion passed. Next is Resolution 2025-11, contractual agreement with MDOT for the M53 26-mile road tree planning, sorry. So this will be the official resolution. If there's no questions, I make a motion to allow the supervisor to sign the resolution 2025-11.
Okay, I guess you can do that.
Contractual agreement supported
by Brown.
By Clerk Brown. If no questions, roll call.
Praviti.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Next is 1011, M53 26-mile tree planting, the additional cost request. I believe the total was around 21,000.
Not to exceed 21.
Not to exceed 21.
The total was $16,846.50 with not to exceed 21.
Right, that is our estimate, but we
Yeah.
made it a little bit higher, but
Depends on granola bars we buy.
Depends
If you
what's
get
in
the good granola.
we're going to buy the
Depends what's in
kind
the
bars.
ground
They're
when they
more
go to
money.
dig the
No,
holes.
no, we're not.
Okay. Motion to approve the additional cost request not to exceed $21,000.
Second.
Okay, motion by Chaplin, supported by Brown. No questions, otherwise roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, next is 1012. So I've been asked this a few times by some members of the Planning Commission. I'd like to, basically, this motion is to request Planning Commission review a future land use designation of 31 to 32 mile near Powell Road to M53. When we passed the original master plan, I had brought it up with another board member that we really want this area. Again, we've invested in this area to make it more of an IRT area. We did get some of it, not all of it. The recommendation is to authorize a referral of the 31 to 32 mile M53 to Powell corridor to the Planning Commission for review of potential future land use changes in that area to expand any IRT opportunities in that area. So basically, the motion is, well, I guess that'll be my motion, but this is basically us making a request to the Planning Commission to investigate that area. The master plan has been in effect, what, over a year now? So every year that they are supposed to look at it. That's the recommendation. This is kind of to get some things going on it. John's our liaison on the Planning Commission. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. I mean, we've invested a lot in this area, so I really believe that this area should be looked at again by the Planning Commission. Then if the Planning Commission comes up with any proposed changes, it'll come back to here to the board to finalize. And that's how a bill becomes a law over here. So I don't know if that makes sense.
I think that with all the money we put in there and the new road going in, we should definitely look at this.
Yeah, so John will be kind of our messenger to the Planning Commission.
I will
along
be
with
the
Dana
pigeon
and
that flies back and forth.
Kayla. Yeah.
Sam, that was your motion?
So, yeah, I'd like to make that as an official motion for the Washington Township Board is requesting the Planning Commission to review future land use designation of this area, 31 to 32 area from Powell to M53, to expand possible IRT opportunities.
Support.
I didn't catch all that. Okay.
It's okay, it's all written, 3 sentences. I'm
It's-
joking.
okay.
Okay, so that's a motion by Chaplin, supported by.
Can I ask a question? But
Yeah. Motion,
wasn't
question.
the two different gentlemen who came in with their projects, weren't they going before the Planning Commission again? The same area, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, but they haven't done that? Or I don't know.
No, the one doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other. This is just an internal review for the township.
Oh, okay.
We're still free to
Okay.
submit any plans they want under
Okay.
current zoning.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You said motion by Chaplin, motion by Praviti.
Oh, sorry. Motion by Pravides, supported by Stevenson. Roll call?
Praviti?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Nicely.
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Any comments from the audience on non-agenda items? If you would like to address the board, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Matthews. I'm a resident of Washington Township. 2 things. First of all, thank the board. I thank you for having confidence in me to appoint me to the Parks and Rec Commission. Now, I assure you, this investment in me will come back to you with profit. Okay, thank you again. Secondly, as you know, I'm a member of the Older Adults Advisory Committee of Macomb County, representing the northern communities, Washington, Bruce, Romeo, Memphis, Ray, and Armada. And in our meetings, we have 10 a year, we hear extensive and very informative presentations on behalf of multiple topics, mostly those on behalf of the betterment of the lives of our older citizens. I'd like to make you aware of something that happened last October. Macomb County was the only county in Michigan to receive a $750,000 grant from the Justice Department of the United States to study the matter of elder abuse and put in training and procedures to end it. In addition, there were only 11 states in the United States that received this grant, so I think we should be proud that Macomb County represents Michigan as one of those 11 states. It's a testimony to the superb service organization we have in Macomb County that's called the Macomb County Senior Services. It's run by Sheila Cote. I know Sheila. She's a wonderful person. She's an LMSW, licensed master social worker. Now, this elder abuse program is over 4 years. Let me define quickly who is at risk. And what is elder abuse? It's physical, emotional, sexual, financial neglect or abandonment. Approximately 1 in 10 people are affected. Only 1 in 24 are actually reported. Okay? So the purpose of this grant is to fund the organization. It's basically initiated in 2023, MCEJA, Macomb County Elder Justice Alliance. They will put in place training and procedures to end elder abuse. They will involve prosecutor, judicial, law enforcement, and direct services. This is an amazing program, and we should be proud that we received this money on behalf of our older citizens. So I will be providing updates periodically. I have a 50-slide presentation. Mr. Praviti, I'm going to send that to you and to the Board of Parks and Rec. Anyone else would like it, I'll be glad to send it to you. Now, lastly, I've been working on social isolation since last year, conducting research that I hope to present to our board and ultimately hope that it will end up at the Board of Commissioners. So thus far, I've prepared a 36-page report. Now, people don't like to read lengthy reports. If anybody's interested, I've summed this up in one page. It tells you the effects of social isolation, and it gives you 10 things that municipalities can do. I'll be glad to send it to you. It's very
I want to read
succinct.
that if you summed it up in one page.
Pardon me?
I've never seen you sum it up in one page. I want to read it.
We would love the
I
one
did it
page.
because I know somebody would say, I'm not going to read 36 pages of Tom Matthews. Thank you, and God bless you. Have a nice evening.
Tom, I have a question. In Rochester, they have an older persons commission.
OPC.
That's a really cool place for older people to get together and not be alone. Is that something you've ever looked into for this area or proposing anything like that?
I'll answer the question.
Okay.
We have 20 senior centers in Macomb County. One of them is right here.
Okay.
Okay, and the other one's up the road.
Okay.
It's my contention that we need to use these places in addition to the following three: schools, libraries, and churches. I did some research. There's 414 of those facilities total.
Wow.
20 senior centers and 394, a total of churches, schools, and libraries. Okay, they can be used to bring our citizens together to do things that'll keep our young out of trouble. Okay, now, Macomb County is 749 square miles. So you take 414 facilities into that, you have now that assumes everything is uniformly placed, which it isn't. But on the average, you have one facility for every 2 square miles.
Wow.
Now, in 2023, the Surgeon General of the United States issued an 82-page public service, he calls it a public health crisis for social connection, which is the remedy for social isolation. And he gives you exactly the effects and what to do. He tells you right there what to do. Now, again, nobody's going to read 86 pages. I've summarized that in my report to one page. Okay? And, I went to the legislative meeting between the 16 legislators, Doug Wozniak and these people, plus the commissioners. It was in August. It was fascinating. And I wanted to tell them, I presented this, what do these meetings generally center around? 3 things: citizens, money, and politics. Now, if you know the old equation for Sam, for the balance sheet, right? Assets minus liabilities equals owner's equity. Correct. If you can't increase your assets, what do? You reduce your liabilities. Right. Poof, you get the same answer. Right. So I think we can do things creatively where we don't have to spend a lot of money. We have these facilities. That's why you heard me talk about the benefits of communicating through WBRW to our citizens. Things are out there. This is America, the wealthiest country on the planet. There are things out there. We just have to use them. Okay? That's it. I'm sorry to delay you.
No, it's okay. You still got 30 seconds, but it's okay.
Nope.
I'm joking.
What is wrong with you,
I'm joking.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Just glad to hear we are looking into things like that. That's great.
Next is elected officials update on community announcements. So I want to let the board know we did hire an appraiser for the 29 Mile and Van Dyke property. They're telling me it'll take 3 to 4 weeks to get a response. So as soon as I get the results back, I'll bring it back to the following board meeting that follows when I get that back. The Northern Macomb Chamber of Commerce's golf outing is next Tuesday, September 9th. If anyone's interested, it's at Greystone. Yeah, I'm like,
Greystone.
it's past my bedtime. Greystone at 32 and Mount. I'm joking. If anybody's interested, they still have some foursomes available. You can contact Kelly at the chamber there at 32 and Van Dyke. September 11th, we'll be doing Patriot Day here at the front steps here at the Municipal Hall. I did it last year, we're doing it again. We'll have some first responders, our fire department, and some of the police deputies up front. We'll just be honoring the two times at the morning when the towers were struck. Everybody's welcome to attend. October 5th is a Sunday, is our fire department open house at 27 Mile. The chief, we're starting to advertise that all over. It's a big event, so everybody's welcome. I believe it's 12 to 3 or 12 to 3.
What day?
It's Sunday, October 5th.
The first Sunday in October.
First, yeah, and that kind of kicks off Fire Prevention Week.
Okay, that's great.
And then I just wanted to give a quick update on the Thornton Schoolhouse. Been working on that every day. I'm still excited. If you drive by it, you'll notice it's been cleaned up. It looks like there's been work done to it. It's really not. They're actually bracing it for the move. Last week, we've had basically the perimeter of it reinforced with wood. The roof's been reinforced with some plywood so it doesn't collapse during the move. We'll be saying a lot of prayers as we move it down the road. We did brace it pretty strong. If you drive by the new location, which is on 31 Mile, it's about 1/8 of a mile east of it, it'll be our new 5-acre park, the Thornton School Park. We have dug the basement there where it's going to go. They're going to be laying the foundation. The house will actually be suspended over it as they build the brick walls, and then they will lower it into place. We're trying really hard the third week of September to move it. I'll notify everyone as we move it. It's not a fast move, so don't worry if you get there late. It's going to be moving there for a few hours, so you're not going to miss anything.
Third week of this month of September?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pushing it. The mover's actually helping me to get this. I've been trying to move it since June. With the basement dug, everything's starting to fall into place. Once we get it into place, high school students are ready to go in and start working. We're talking to Greenfield Village, them blowing original glass.
Wow.
The reason we're doing a basement on it instead of a crawl space is to put a furnace in there so it can be used year-round. That'll help prevent it from falling apart in the future. The roof, we're going to put a metal roof on it. It's supposed to last 80 to 90 years instead of putting a traditional roof. So I know it's not going to be 100% 1840, but we also want it to last. We don't want to keep rebuilding it every 20 years either. So I'm very excited about it. The student that drew the park, we notified her. Her park, we had like over 50 samples. We're using her park design. So she's excited about it. I'd like to bring her to one of the upcoming meetings to introduce her.
We need to recognize her. We need to recognize her.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I'm excited about that.
I'd like to see the plan. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, I could show. If you do go on our website, I do have like the rough blueprint of it. Okay. Yeah, you can see it. Once the schoolhouse is in place, the sidewalk will be poured in front. So 31 Mile will actually be connected from Mound all the way to the park. We're going to extend it. The 5 acres west of it is the future Fire Station 4. But until we decide to build that, we'll put sidewalk there, possibly make those soccer fields until it's a fire station. So we'll make use of that property until we build that. So that's my little quick update there. Do you have, I know you got.
Yeah, taxes are due Monday, September the 15th. We want to make sure that if you're making the payment, do not use the U.S. Post Office. Sometimes they're running a little bit behind. If you receive it late and it's even postmarked or the check is post-dated to any date except when we receive it, that will not be accepted and the bank won't accept it either. There are several ways you can pay, which is online through our website. You can stop at First State Bank. You do not need an account there to make the payment, or you can do it in person or do the drop-off box right outside the township. Because this is on a weekend, any payments in the drop box before 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September the 16th, will be counted as on time. So if we get it in there on the 15th, you got to drop it off at 10 o'clock at night on the 10th. On the 15th, we pick it up on 8 o'clock the next morning. It will be counted on time. School is in session, so I'm asking, please watch out for kids in the buses now. Kids, as you know, has a tendency jumping between cars before they know it, quicker than a deer. So please watch out for them as you're driving. And this Friday is the first home football game for Romeo High School. It's also their watched-off football game. If you're unfamiliar with that, I have spoken about it in the past. This is a game where kids go out and raise money for cancer, and they turn it over to the charitable organization that they select out. And all the money is 100% donated back to them. Kids go out and raise funds for these throughout the year through different events. The football players pay for their own jerseys based upon the cost of the jersey, so it doesn't cost the team any money. It's a great event to be there. If you haven't been there, they have a opening ceremony where all those cancer survivors come through a tunnel. They are given a flower, and then they're recognized. At the end of the game, there's a ribbon that's put together by the students as well as anybody who was there. That the cancer ribbon is outlined, and you can go in there, and a photo is taken from the press box. So it's a great opportunity to help support families with cancer and that game.
And do they still have the luminaries, the little bags with the candles in them that they line the track?
No, they did.
They don't do
stopped
it?
that a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. We have an election November 4th, as the superintendent stated. It's just one ballot item, the school bond, November 4th, Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's no early voting, but we're doing all the same work that we always do. And I'm learning a lot, which is fantastic. So we do have an election, and we have 8,000 absentee ballots going out shortly. We have a paper shredding electronics recycling event September 13th at the Township Hall, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I'm sure we all spent a lot of time at the Peach Festival this weekend, and I was there Saturday and Sunday all day. And the vendors were so happy. You probably saw it because the weather was good. It wasn't so hot. And they thought they had record crowds, don't you think? I mean, they had really good attendance. People were buying things because it wasn't 90 degrees. So it was a great weekend, I think. Thank you.
You mentioned the paper shredding.
I'm sorry?
Paper shredding.
Oh, I said that.
Yeah.
What did you?
I was talking too fast. We're good.
We have no correspondence, so I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session to consult with the township attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with the specific pending litigation in the matter of Bjorkord Development, LLC versus the Charter Township of Washington, Macomb County Circuit Court docket number 2025-002968-CH of Section 81E of the Open Meetings Act.
Second?
Second by Brown. Roll call. I guess I got to do roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Chaplin?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to go back into open session,
Second.
supported by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting,
So moved.
supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thanks for playing.